And we are live. Flashpoint is back after the 2 week hiatus. Ebontis, what's going on, sir?
Yeah, well, heads up, guys. It's going to be a long point. We've got a lot to talk about. But it's been a good couple weeks. Had a quick trip, and you did as well. So I know you jumped up
Mhm.
to PAX. You have a good time up there?
Yeah, man. I'm still kind of like, I don't want to call it jet lag.
Just
It's
recovering.
like,
Recovering. It's a lot of work.
yeah, road lag.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm still kind of like getting my sleep schedule adjusted and all that. But PAX was fantastic. Shout out to the Lords. Gaming Addict in the chat, what's up? And yeah, man, it was really fun. Got a chance to see and play a whole lot of stuff. Was hoping Bungie would have a presence, but unfortunately they didn't. They announced some stuff, but not there. But other than that, it was dope, man. Really cool experience. What about you?
Nice.
What you been up to?
Just had a trip for a family thing, so did that and came back. I got the joys of being frisked at the airport, so that was a blast. I have no idea what was going on that morning. There was a lady, and we were going through the security line, and I swear it was every third person. She would like find a way to pull you to the side. You'd have to wait, get your bag fully inspected, get a full pat
Jesus.
down, and it was like every third person. Because when I was up there and it was my turn, there was like this
Mhm.
sheet of paper, and you're looking up there, and she's like initialing, and I swear she was just trying to knock out everything for the day in the first 2 hours. Because it was like every 3 minutes there was a new name and new initials, and we just were like backed up waiting. I'm like,
That's crazy.
what the hell? We were there like an hour and 15 minutes early, and we like got to our gate as it was starting to board, and we're just like didn't get food or anything. So by the time we landed, it was just yeah, not a great start to a trip.
I
But
feel your pain, buddy. I feel your pain, man.
yep. Well, we got a lot in the world of Destiny to talk about. We're gonna take it back a week just because we haven't had a chance to talk about this stuff. So we'll try and cover this stuff a little quicker, but we'll definitely have some topics of conversation as we go through. So first, we're gonna jump back to the weekly update for April 5th. So this is the day after they did the Bungie bounty. So as you guys know, they
Yes.
had Josh Hamrick and Kevin Yanes literally answering questions in between the matches during the stream. So
Mhm.
in case you did miss the stream, I went and checked it out later. It's very cool.
Mhm.
So if you want to hear in full detail, but basically what they did is they broke down all the questions that were asked from Twitch and places, and they were asking them throughout the stream, and they basically consolidated it so you could read it. So
Okay.
that way you don't have to go watch a 2 hour stream just to catch the questions.
Good. We don't want to do that. We long point enough.
Yeah.
we gotta keep the flashpoint name high.
So now some of the stuff may kind of duplicate, so I may skip over a couple questions just because we're going to talk about it a little bit later with other announcements that came.
Mhm.
But just as the questions go, they're the ones in yellow. So and then the text is below that. So
Mhm.
first one we got in regards to time to kill is it's a pretty popular opinion within the community that time to kill should be decreased. From what you feel so far since you've been playing, what do you think since 1.1.4 came out
I'm indifferent. I mean, I get it with the whole, people want time to kill to increase.
or decreased?
Yeah, to decrease, excuse me. But I think it's like ultimately, I think the real issue is I think team shotting just plays more of a factor as opposed to the time. Listen, if they do it, it's one of these things I am truly indifferent because if they do it, I'm not going to be upset if that's what the community as a whole wants. By all means, go for it, increase the time to kill. But I think the issue in Destiny too, you just feel that team shotting is the way to go, and I
Yeah.
feel for whatever reason it just feels stronger. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So
absolutely.
yeah, as opposed to D1. I mean, obviously, D1 you got a 2-on-1, it wasn't gonna go well, but for some reason you felt like you had a chance, whereas in D2 you don't really feel that way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like if I'm gonna sit there, I don't run sniper that much in D2, but also I swear there are not that many maps where there's just lanes to snipe in D2.
Hmm.
But in general, I mean, I always think of like Pantheon as literally a sniper map. And if it was like
Hmm.
me and most of the team went to the lower, yeah, lower of the two main runs, I usually don't consider the outside, but if the three of them were down there towards the water and everything, I could take the upper area. And if I was like on that day, I could literally just lock that place down. And I'm by
Yep.
myself with a sniper rifle. And it was
Yes.
like, and
Yes.
those are those moments where it's like, okay, this area is shut down. Now go face my other team. They are
Hmm.
doing a team thing, but you've got one running up with a shotgun who's pushing. You've got somebody holding the other side down with a sniper. Just those
Hmm.
variances of playstyle aren't there. It's like, yeah, we're just going to shoot scout rifle shots back and forth at range, but that's all you're going to do. You're just going to trade. And there is a lot of trading. I mean,
Yep.
some people are better than others, but you don't as they go. Those hero moments aren't there. Those single shot kills don't happen as often. So
Yep. I agree.
So yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with you. Like time to kill being decreased, I'd be okay with it. But I think it's more there are bigger changes, and we'll come to those later. So
Exactly.
well, they got Vigilance Wing, which is a very popular gun right now. It's pretty powerful. Now, some people will say,
be Osiris. And Vigilance Wing.
yeah, I know on PC. I have it on PS4, but on PC I don't have it. So I'm like, So, but yeah, I mean, it's like technically it can hit a two burst kill. Now, that's technically doing all headshots. Trying to do that at range with a 5 burst, like a 5-shot pulse rifle, is almost impossible. So, it's going to be a 3-shot. It's still fast and powerful. But the nice thing is they said, will you be reining it in? Or are you going to be tuning it? And they're like, people like it and we don't want to do our whack-a-mole thing again. So, they're actually looking to bring other weapons up to it. So, with the exotic tuning that they're doing they're going to, and then unfortunately, they phrase it in a weird way. He's like, I believe you'll find a few retuned exotics that can do that, the same thing that Vigilance Wing can right now. But it only says a few, and I'm going, why is it not all of them?
Yeah,
it's like, don't worry me. Maybe they just haven't touched them all yet, but I guess we'll see.
We'll see.
What if Mida was a 3-shot kill? That'd just break the whole game.
Yeah, you can't have mine. No way. You can turn the game right off.
It's just like, click. I'm done. I'm out.
That's disgusting.
So it's just nice they're not doing the whack-a-mole, so it's good to see that they're trying to continue to bring more things up. So I like that at least. So they're asking about the stream for Expansion 2. We have more details on that later, so don't worry. We'll get there.
We'll get to that.
So they asked which element that the team has worked on that they've enjoyed the most. And Kevin Yanes said specifically the Crucible ranks. So I know a lot of people want a reason to play Crucible. It's cool to go in there, have some fun, but if you actually have a reason to grind, just like in PvE, if you have a reason of something to go for, be like, hey, I'm going for that top Crucible rank, or I'm going to try and hit the highest number. Like if you say I've got a Crucible rank, because it's Valor and Glory, right? I think Glory is the rank. And if your Glory is like, one of the highest ones out there and you're holding it and you're still playing, it's like that's going to show and give people a little more incentive to like keep with it. So again, a really good step in the direction. And I guess I'm kind of surprised it's taken them this long to do a rank since it's been asked for since
it's been asked for.
basically year 1 D1. Like it was.
Yeah, it was kind of like early in the roadmap when it was mentioned, but it's good to hear them talking about it. This is definitely for me. Shout out to my true meaning of war bounty veterans. This is the type of stuff we want.
Exactly.
We want to be recognized. We want to grind that Crucible, and then have a ranking system to show it. So love that. Can't wait for this to be implemented.
Yep. Somebody says, I really wish D2 weapon systems would return to primary special. It was better than the current one. Is my wish reasonable? So, we know you want more loadout control. You can expect weapon slot changes in the future of D2. We will cover that later. But, and we've covered it before. People say, do you want to go back to the D1 primary special heavy? Do you want to go to a 4-slot system? Either way, just as we were saying above, we want some variety in our gameplay. And I think that's going to be the biggest thing that the weapon slots will help with. So.
Yes. Gonna be curious how they implement that.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering what they're gonna settle on.
About it when we get to it.
We'll get there. We got a whole development roadmap, and it's a big point. So, a question was, what is the exact design philosophy that lets you determine when a balance change is good? When testing, what testing procedures do you follow? People want to know why some things take so long. Now we know Destiny is a complicated game, but a 6-month patch for a sandbox update, that's. I think everybody's going to agree. It's too long.
Especially when Fortnite's down the street doing it in on the fly in a week.
Yeah.
They got to get with the times, man. You got to get with the times. I mean,
they got to find a way to do it faster.
Yeah. No disrespect. We are not devs. We just got to, there has to be a way for that to be expedited just for the health of the game. That has to happen. They have to figure that out. We cannot be waiting 6 months for sandbox updates and then, waiting longer whenever the other changes need to be made. It needs to be much more spontaneous.
Yeah, it's like you got onboard testers all the time, and it doesn't, I think, because you read through here and you say, so at any given moment they're working on numerous sandbox updates that follow the same pipeline. First we set our goals that we want to accomplish. They said for 1.1.4, for example, they said they want to affect the pace of combat, more powerful and heroic moments of which...
The pace that don't increase the speed, the walk speed.
No, they actually cover that later.
Okay, let me stop. Go ahead.
Yep. But in Season 3, they said they'll be delivering a round of exotic weapon tuning intended to make them feel more exotic, which, yes, please, can't wait for that. But they basically say, with our goals defined, we make the changes, playtest, and iterate as long as we can. And I think that's one of the issues. They do it for as long as they feasibly can. It's like, you've got to be okay throwing stuff out there.
Exactly.
And then changing it the next week. Like, I don't know.
If it break, it break. Or if it's a little too much, then okay, next week we pull it back a bit. It's just they gotta let the reins go, man. Let the baby live. Like, let them grow up, let them develop. Like, they're so controlling with this part, and it really affects interest in the game.
For sure. And they say from any of those changes, we also test our game. Now, it's like we know that tests are going to happen. They have a lot of systems that are basically in play. So you've got PvE, PvP, Crucible, Nightfalls, raids, and they're trying not to break. They're trying not to break too much stuff. It's not just like Fortnite in a battle royale. It's like, okay, are we balanced in PvE or PvP? No headshots are crazy. Nobody's going to do 1,000 damage with a pistol. Cool. Like, those things aren't there. But again, they have a lot more pieces. So I understand it's going to take a little bit longer. But I'm on your board. I'm on board with you as well. It's like, sometimes you got to let things happen. It's like, we had the laser tag. That was insanely fun. It was fun for a week. And they're like, hey, something broke. Enjoy it. Crucible's going to be a little broken. Or
the mentality they need to have.
It's like, they can do hot fixes or they can do back-end things. Just deactivate a gun or something like that. If one thing breaks or one class type of scout rifles is too crazy, just like turn it off for a little bit. Be like, hey, we're gonna patch it, we'll turn it back on Tuesday next week. It'll just be off for like 4 or 5 days.
Exactly. Remember when they had to do that with a D1 Hunter's Night Stalker glitch? They had to like just eliminate a node for a little bit or something.
I was like, that thing just didn't work for a while. So same thing. So again, I don't know the process. We've heard so many things about D1's engine taking 8 hours to load like a map so you could make a change. I'm hoping they changed it for D2, but it's just so many of those things you wonder. It's like, what? Why? And again, this is the point where it's like, I don't want to like berate them with like, hey, this is terrible. I just literally want to sit down and be like, I want to know the process and the system's involved, so I can at least be like, all right, I know you guys tried. I want to understand. So the next question was, any plans for the development team to get more directly involved with the community? They mentioned things like the Bungie bounties so people can actually chat while they're playing. They also kind of tease at the idea of actually getting content into our players' hands before it releases. So they know there's a big desire for testing builds early, and that's something they're thinking about. Now, for them to release the reins like that on a public test server is, tough. But as I think other podcasts have said that I'm listening to, don't release the story content. Do that testing in-house. Don't release spoilers. Right. But if you want to test a sandbox, you want to test like a PvP map or something like that, let that out there in the wild. That's not going to break anything. It's just going to get a little more hype up there. People are going to come back, play it early, then it's going to release, and more people will play. So they asked, what can they tell us about the solutions for loot systems, random rolls, perks, all that fun stuff? And Josh Hamrick flat out said, he's like, I'm not an investment designer. That's not what I do. But he said they are looking at trying to get more reasons to play. They want you to, get excited for that, epic gun to drop and things. So they are working on a lot of stuff, and we'll get to that here a little bit later as well. Yes. I know we're saying a little bit later. I'm just trying to work through this stuff for you guys so we can actually get to the more recent information. Now, here is the question that will pique some interest for a lot of people. Are there any set plans to introduce new elements, classes, subclasses, or weapon types to the game in the near future? And straight up, Josh said yes to some of those. Not just one, some. Yeah. So, be it weapon types or subclasses or elements or enemies, which we'll kind of get an idea. He said, he's like, from my desk right now, I can look around and see new stuff on several people's screens. So, showing it off in the months to come. So, we might see a little bit for what's to come here in May, and then the fall is hopefully going to have something major. I am kind of curious, and I'll give you hats off. It looks like something's happening in September. We'll just see if it's enough. So. Yep,
absolutely. Something definitely is cooking up. There's no doubt about it. And I like that question. We don't know which one it's going to be, whether it be subclasses, weapon types. I prefer it not to be weapon types at this point. I feel like they're kind of oversaturated at that level.
We've got pretty much every level in there. I want more unique weapons of the types we've got, like we've talked about for those Nightfall rewards.
But I will say this, elements and subclasses, new subclass, man, that would breathe life.
Yeah.
That would breathe life.
Now, I would love it if it was actually a whole new class.
Yes.
That would give you a fourth character slot. So many new things to get in there. Complete mix up. Like, I want to see. I mean, you have a Titan, you have a Warlock, and a Hunter. I'm just trying to think in the pantheon of those type of names. What's another class that even fits in those? I mean, I go always back to Diablo, so it's like your warriors, your wizards, things like that. But it's not quite to that like fantasy. It's not that fantasy level. So I'm trying to think in a sci-fi setting how it would fit.
That would have to be Taken Queen DLC.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
At that. I think so.
Yeah.
But
that's not coming in May.
I think they would have to kind of create lore on the fly, so to speak.
Hey, we found this one dude. We thought it wasn't there, and we brought him out of hiding. Or somebody came back, and we're gonna teach you the ways of this. Like, yeah, they'd have to some long lost whatever is coming back into play.
Yeah, you never knew about the Wraith class Guardian.
Yeah, that actually would be a name that would fit of all the ones. That's not bad.
Pay me, Bungie.
No, it was like, because you go Titan, Hunter, Warlock, Wraith.
Woo!
I was like, they could tweak that in a way that I could see it fitting in this universe. Like Wizard, stuff like that does not fit, but Wraith, I like that. That's cool. That's nice. On the fly right there. There you go, Cognito. Throw it down.
Me and Ebontis are ready to be on that team for ideas to help them out. Let's go.
All right. So next they said, how did the Crucible team decide on random game modes? The biggest thing they wanted is matchmaking times and connection quality. Mm-hmm. So connection quality, I understand. People harp on that for all the time on console. And as I'm on PC more, I probably don't even feel it as much.
Talk to me. How does it feel for you on PC?
PC, I honestly feel like connection is never an issue for me. I don't feel like I'm dealing with lag. And that's another reason why, again, not saying PC Master Race, but literally I think because you're going through... No, it's because you're going through Battle.net. And if you want to have a better service than Battle.net, good luck finding it. Mm-hmm. Now, I still don't know if PC is done on peer-to-peer as the same way console is. But just the fact that PCs typically can maybe either process more, handle more, or the PC people just may have, like, they have a PC, it's like, okay, I want a faster connection. I don't know if it's just that level. I don't know if all those pieces make the connection quality on is something I don't even think about. Matchmaking times, unfortunately, on PC, on the other hand, are a bit longer because I hear the player base there is smaller. So
player base is much smaller.
Right. Yeah. So you kind of give and take either way on those. But those are two things that people harped on connection forever. It's like, are you red barring in D1? Are you doing that? So it's like, they wanted to try and find a way to do that. Unfortunately, in turn, when you like corral us into a couple options where like, I just want to go play Control and I can't. It's like, I would love to sometimes. So hopefully maybe they'll do, maybe one other rotating playlist at some point, but they're just trying to make it to where connection's still good and the options are there.
Yeah. And how about dedicated service? How about that? But I digress.
We've all asked, and there's a point for, I don't know if the budget's not there. I don't know.
I gotta keep the boot on the neck. I gotta keep the boot on the neck, man. Like D3, come on now. By the time D3 roll around, I don't want to hear about peer-to-peer no more. That's just me.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why you couldn't.
Yeah, there's no reason. You're making hand over fist. This is the number one. The numbers did come out, even though it's declined right now, but it was like the number one most sold game of 2017, and it wasn't even, the whole year didn't finish at that point.
Yeah, so, it was basically number 2 behind Call of Duty or something like that. It was crazy.
It was insane.
It was. They did some numbers.
Activision can't afford it.
Yeah. Well, it's like I always wonder too. Call of Duty's dedicated, right?
I think still not.
Really? So just maybe it's an Activision thing they don't?
It's an Activision thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely an Activision thing, and it's a shame because this game, they need to put the money back into the game, and there's no reason in this day and age why that. Even Rainbow Six Siege is using Microsoft Azure dedicated. Come on, even if you don't want to house it yourself, holler at Microsoft, do something. And that's on PlayStation that they're using Microsoft Azure service as well for Rainbow Six Siege.
It's just that's the developer and that's what they're doing. So. No, it'd be nice. They did say people have also asked about, hey, what about making Rumble permanent? They said they've absolutely heard that feedback. They heard it from day one of be like, we want this all the time. They're having conversations. They're thinking about it. But I know right now, I guess they're just trying to rotate through options, which also we'll cover later, gives them a way to kind of troubleshoot some things like week on, week off, which has some benefits to it, I guess. But we'll see.
Right. Well, they need to get that done too. But I think that's more of a playlist. A community issue as well.
Yeah, for sure.
They don't want to separate them.
Yep. They asked, are you looking at Destiny 1 for inspiration? Which is like, are you looking at your previous game for inspiration? I think the wording there is wrong for a question, because it's not inspiration. It's like, what did we get right? And I think that's the way they phrased it. They're saying they're looking at Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 for helpful data points. They say it, neither game is perfect, and neither one was. There's a lot of things we liked about Destiny 1, but there are some things in Destiny 2. Even some people don't like the tokens, but if you think about tokens versus reputation, tokens, you can just use them across your whole account. So I'm actually okay with that general idea. So I was like, but there's things in both games that need some help. Obviously, some bigger things in D2, just decisions were made, and the community was not happy about them. Right. They're just saying they're trying to make D2 as good as possible, and it just takes time. As they said before in their whole development and patch update process, the bigger the change, the longer it takes. So things like weapon slot improvements, that's not going to be a month. That's going to be taking king or taking queen, whatever you want to call it. So they're trying. I mean, but all these things, all the questions they're answering, I feel we've heard more from Bungie since January 1st of 2018 than we probably got in the last 3.5 years.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So this has been great. Now here's your question.
Let's go.
Why can't the mobility stat increase sprint speed? I'm a hunter. I need to ninja.
Hello. Let's talk about it. Let's go.
Basically what he phrased it as is, our goal with 1.1.4 is to get back to more of the D1 style of movement, especially the movement with you're working with mid-combat. Now, mid-combat, we all have agreed, Fallout Plays did his testing. When you're strafing, if you're ADS, it is noticeably faster. Like if you're at 10, and even says it below. Fun fact, any mobility value over 5 after 1.1.4 is faster than the max mobility base speed values of D1. So, I mean, if you're at mobility 10 and you go full out on Hunter, you're strafing back and forth, you're going to be probably hard to hit in the middle of battle. But on the other side, we called it the Go Fast update for a reason. It was absolutely, and they said they dug into making changes for sprint speed. Now, the reason they said they couldn't do it, they ran into some technical challenges that kept it from being possible to get it up in time to test with. It's something they're going to still consider. So they actually tried it. They just couldn't do it right now. So they do understand all of our thoughts to be like, we want to go faster. Why can't we sprint faster? They tried it. I'll give them hats off for at least letting us know, not right now, but maybe in the future. So,
yeah, I mean, not to be that guy.
No, I mean, devil's advocate, go nuts.
I'm just not. I'm trying to be nice here. It's one of them things where it's like, okay, if you felt there were technical challenges, let's read that sentence, right? There were technical challenges that kept it from being possible to get it up in time to test with. Okay, I'm gonna give them the time deliverable excuse, but you know, this needs to be revisited. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. It does. It's inexcusable. I mean, if they had that ability to do it, then you know it is what it is. But I digress. That's just me. They're at a state right now where everything's going to be monitored. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to have to do something.
And I agree to that point. I don't want this to fall to the wayside and just be forgotten about. I also would hope at some point they also revisit the other stats as well, and maybe that's something they're just going to lump into a full change. So. Like, maybe if we can't do it now, we've got a full revamp on something else, so we'll do what we can, but we're going to do a full thing later. If that's the case and it's a change, fine. But if we're sitting here a year from now and, like, the stats haven't really changed, the speed hasn't actually been addressed again at all, then that's where I do find an issue with it. So it's okay to let me know there's challenges with doing it, but let me know it's like, hey, we're still going to... And they say they're going to consider it in the future. I'm like, hey, we're still working on it is the phrasing I want to see.
Yeah, and I respect that. What else we got?
That pretty much covers the questions, and then last week that also went into weekly Crucible playlists. So basically, to sum up, they mentioned that having the weekly rotation allows them to take a week's worth of data, maybe do some quick changes. Now, when Rumble came out, it was 8 players, and it was absolute insanity. Now, it was kind of fun, because usually things aren't moving that quickly, but it also happened where people were spawn camping. If you got heavy ammo, it was so bad. You can literally watch so many people's streams or clips, and you'd be like, I'm going to stand in this doorway. This guy spawns on my right. This guy spawns on my left. Heavy, wait again. And they don't have to go that far, and it was terrible. So, and they said, okay, Rumble 2's coming back. It came back this week. It's down to 6-player count. They changed the spawning policy behind the scenes, and that was in a couple of weeks. That's one of the fastest changes I've ever seen them make it.
That's true.
We asked for it, and we got that one. I was like, sweet. So
see that more.
It's back in action. So 6-player Rumble's literally going on right now. Now, they also said Iron Banner is going to be coming next week, actually. Now, this update was saying it was supposed to come, but it got delayed. So they flipped it with Rumble, but it's actually coming next week on the 17th. So it will be coming, but it's going to be 6 players on each team. Now, the reason they said Iron Banner with 6 people won't be quite as bad, you're in a team. It's not everybody else. So the spawns, they may flip sides, but it's not going to be quite as, insane spawning next to somebody because, it's going to happen a little bit more with your team anyway. Then we run down below an Iron Banner. So if you're looking at it on screen, this has been delayed, but it is coming out the 17th. So at this point, it's coming. Same information is coming though. So we got Control, Iron Banner, 6v6. And remember with Control, now they have changed it. So you do not start with any points active. Also on Control, you up to 3 people can help a point get captured faster, which is good. But if you have more people on a point, it means more chances for those supers to go kaboom.
Yeah, we talked about this. We love it.
This little grenade launcher. Can I just chop this little guy out of the corner? This little grenade launcher up here. Don't even need him. Don't even need him.
Bro, they gotta stop. Oh,
it's like hand cannon,
class.
Hand cannon, scout rifle, pulse rifle, auto rifle, shotgun. I don't need you. So I don't know. I'm curious to see 6v6 in D2. So I'm looking forward to it.
He's also looking forward to it. And it's, yeah, man, just this is what we want. That's classic. 6v6, get the action going. And in a way, I like that it's unique for Iron Banner. It makes Iron Banner feel special.
Yeah, it's like it's one thing that is honestly, it's one of the first times it's actually been a little bit different. Power level supposedly mattered in D1, but honestly, it never mattered enough to me. So the fact that at least in D2 they're gonna say, "Hey, this is the 6v6 mode," I'm alright with that. So
straight up.
Then we come to the Destiny Community Summit mention because people got invited and then it came out on Twitter and then people are like, what is happening? What is this thing? Will it fix the game? So just a quick recap of what the Destiny Community Summit is going to be. Neither of us got invited. Sad face, but moving on.
We're waiting for that in the mail. It's came late. That's all.
I was like, but it's going to be the 19th and the 20th, so it's going to be soon. Now, we probably won't see what happens from that for a little while. Now, they may get their hands on the expansion come up in May. They may get to test it. But really what they're looking to do is getting feedback from players earlier on in the development phase. So they're working on whatever's happening in the fall right now. And we'll talk about what's coming there. They want to get feedback now while they're literally in process and may still have some time to make changes or make updates to things later. So that's literally what it looks like they're going to be doing.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Which is good. I like that they they didn't get the best, obviously the Flashpoint crew, but I gotta
appreciate that.
You already know. I gotta put my chest out. We gotta put the chest out. But at the end of the day, it's like, listen, the guys that they got for Albany, they're respected. Shout out to Pope. Shout out to a couple of guys that I know that are on it. These are true Destiny guys. These are guys that's gonna really dig deep, get into it, and got our best interests as the player base in mind. So. I'm very curious to see how that goes through. I want to see also if they're gonna be under NDA. Most likely, probably are.
Yeah, I think they even said they were.
Yeah, they're probably gonna be under NDA. But at the end of the day, listen, I trust those guys enough. Those are like our Destiny pillars, right?
Yeah.
The people who have had the community on their back for so long, and know what this game is about, and know what it takes for it to be fun. I think that's good, and because at the end of the day, it shows the critical nature of quote unquote the Taken Queen or whatever that big DLC that's gonna happen. It has to be perfect. They have to hit it out the park, and we'll get into that too as far as that and Warmind coming up later.
Absolutely. Dropping the name there. What are you doing?
Sorry.
Spoilers.
Sorry. Spoiler. Sorry.
But that pretty much. Oh, I know. I was like, there's so much. But that pretty much wraps up the week. Nightfall scores are still insane. If you're going for those, that's fine. But the strategy they say will only last until 1.2. So they're gonna have a fix for those lost sectors. So actually gonna make that better. I was like, I hope they fix the lost sectors, because right now it's kind of annoying if you're going through a Nightfall, and until you actually get into where the respawn zone starts happening, you don't get any points.
Yeah, it sucks.
So it really is annoying. But I did solo my first Prestige the other night too.
Woo! He's back.
Working on it. Not fast and not high points, but at least I killed the boss. So
The soloist is
progress. So that is one. Let me close this wonderful tab and move on to Deej dropping some bombs here on Wednesday. Honestly were. I was talking with Cognito like during the week, and we're like, he's gonna drop this thing Friday afternoon, and we record this thing Friday morning. I was like, do we have to push it out? And then Wednesday, it's like, I was like, yes. So we have things to talk about.
Things to talk about.
So as the March came out, the March patch came out, 1.1.4. We've got 1.2 on the road. We're like, where's the rest of the roadmap, guys? So we finally got an update to it. First thing Christopher Barrett was, he's excited to extend the roadmap. Now, the big thing is things can move. Nothing is set in stone until it comes out. So take all this as somewhat of a grain of salt. But if it's on here, at least you know they're working on it. And it's definitely like, there's a bulletin board. It is a big piece of it. So,
yes, sir.
So let's just jump in.
Let's go, man.
So season 2, we are going to be basically done with that one here in less than a month.
Let's go fast.
That is go fast. That was the last patch for season 2. So season 3 will start with the official name of the expansion is Warmind.
Boom.
It is official. And here's your picture.
Yes.
Does that look kind of awesome, by the way?
Yeah, the picture looks hot, man. It takes me back to my favorite raid, Wrath of the Machine.
Yeah.
It put me there. I just thought about that. One of my favorite parts of that raid, descending down those long steps, the beautiful lighting.
Oh, man, that was so cool.
In the back. We'll see what happens.
So we'll get to that picture in a minute. By the way, if you guys check out the current weekly update, we'll get there. There's a nice 4K version of this image. It's currently my wallpaper.
Nice.
So,
good man.
Season 3 1.2. So with the expansion, May 8th, we are going to be first getting seasonal Crucible rankings.
Yes.
So I am excited about this. I'm kind of curious how they're going to... I think it's just like 2 emblems keeping track of them, so it's a step. Maybe they'll do ladders later on. Cross my fingers, I wish. But rankings are coming. Gives you something to play for in Crucible. Now, I can hope it's more than just a ranking. Maybe if you work your way up to... I'm going for random because it looks like it's just an emblem with a number on it. So say you get up to 1,000. Say maybe you get an emblem. You get a skin. You get something. If you get up to 1,500, you get something. I'd like to see some incentive for getting higher as opposed... No, there's nothing wrong with bragging rights.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see more for going for those bragging rights. And for the people who get up there into the badass level, let them show something off.
Exactly. Let it shine, baby.
Yeah. Maybe there's an aura attached to your emblem now when you get to 2,500 that looks like a little
show off. There we go.
Yeah, get a little crown on your head or something if you're up in that elite level. Exactly. I mean, and that'd be something they already have the systems for. So
make me feel like a lord in the Crucible.
Yeah, you gotta get Cognito. Can we just have crowns, just us? You know,
just us.
Lords of the Round Table. Walk around and be like, "Who are you? Like, why do you have a crown on your head?" I don't know. I paid Bungie a lot of money and I got a crown. So no, I'm just kidding. Private matches are coming. Which, if you like playing private matches, that's fine. But to me, this doesn't do that much. For me.
No. Yeah, that's not. But I'm happy it's coming. Shout out to the Crucible scientists out there. My man Fallout Plays. He's gonna be very happy. He won't have to drag random people into.
Yeah, no, I mean that helps for like
go his own.
Absolutely, that definitely helps for testing and weapon numbers and things like that. To be like, all right, go in here. What does this do from here? What is the range? How's the drop
his
off?
His videos are gonna be sick, man, because you know he's gonna break that bad boy down with exotics and all type of perks and attributes, and I just love it. He does a fantastic job. Shout out to Fallout. I gotta get him on the show, man. Fantastic job.
Yeah. Vault space increase. I cannot wait to see what this is going to be and if it's enough.
All I just see right now is Destin Legary's face.
He's just literally like just tapping his fingers, and it's just like on the desk doing the finger tap thing, and it's like when it comes, if it's like 50 slots, we're all going to be like,
yeah, man.
If that's all it is, we're all just going to like bash our head through our monitors. If it's more, if it's kiosks, then we'll see. But yeah. I guess when I break my current monitor, it's time to upgrade to 4K or something. Is that how that works?
Yeah, you got to do it, bro. It must happen.
I'm waiting for a monitor to come out, actually. So 4K, 144 hertz, like G-Sync, like all that stuff. So
yeah, bro, it's absolutely stunning. I have it on the X, and it's stunning.
Yeah.
The HDR is beautiful.
So now here's where the changes started to happen from what was in 1.2. So we had exotic... Actually, sorry, I'm one step ahead. Exotic masterworks are coming, so which is good. Means actually if I switch over to
But you missed one. Back up.
multi-emote wheel. I'm sorry. It's only so few characters. I
Don't
just
you
blew
mess
past
with
it.
my dances, man. Dude, I've been waiting for this. I've been low key, like, I'm not gonna get ridiculous, but that is a big deal for us so we can express ourselves for so long. I mean, Division had it, all these other games have it. So
Yeah.
it's like Destiny, who arguably you can make an argument, has the best emotes in gaming.
Yeah, they're some of the best for sure.
Finally, let's go. Get my Michael Jackson on and another dance.
Yeah, I mean, and I think more you'll just be able to go, you'll string things together and people just probably have a
Yeah.
little bit more fun with like dances or little videos and be like, hey, here's a face bomb followed by passing out or something like just
Think about how fun that's gonna be in just regular, Guardian life in the tower, in the Crucible, on strikes, just the funny things people are gonna come up with because they can string three or four of their favorite emotes together, and
you know,
hopefully they'll at least put two or three of them. I'm assuming bottom, left, and right. They may leave the up one by default or whatever. I don't know. We'll see how they
yeah.
handle it.
But yeah, at least three should be an option. So it's
Hmm.
more variety, and that just leads to those little funny, like even after Crucible kill moments, instead of teabagging, you
Yeah.
can just do like some ridiculous thing. So
Oh, it's gonna be. I'm telling you, it's gonna be lit, man. These are the type of things. Those little quality of life, but it's gonna add so much. I know I'm over. People think, oh, he's just overstating emotes, but I'm telling you. Shout out to Chris Cole. He said emotes FTW. That's right. I mean, bro, that's what makes Destiny Destiny. And it's the fashion. And it's being funny, right? You go up to a person in the tower, he waves to you, you know him, and then you start dancing, and the next thing a whole club breaks out at New Monarchy's dance party sound beat or whatever. But that's the type of things that make Destiny Destiny. And I'm glad that they're actually finally addressing this. Since D1, we've been waiting for that.
so and maybe with
Yeah,
the
like
emote
emotes.
wheel, hopefully there's some new like badass emotes.
Oh,
So
you know they are. That's a
they always
fact.
have good emotes. Like
Eververse will
even
be ready.
yeah,
I
oh
mean,
yeah. What Eververse
Tess
has
is on
stuff.
deck.
She's ready. She's ready for it all.
Exactly. So I heard you got more slots.
Yep, you got more spaces. I got more. I got more of that stuff you want.
Exactly. And
It's that
that,
Dave Chappelle emote. You got any more of that?
you got any more of them emotes? Exactly. And I'll tell you right now, this is where I don't mind microtransactions. That's for emotes. I will spend whatever, man.
Yeah,
If it's
I'm
a
sorry. Like
challenge,
when the Michael Jackson one came out, I think I dropped like what was it, $5, $8? It was an expensive one, but I was like, I'm buying it. It's
yep,
I had to
let's
get
go.
that one. All right,
Let's go.
so exotic masterworks, those are coming. So hopefully we can start making some orbs with the other stuff and
Yeah, very
wear a
curious to see how they
masterwork.
handle that. Hmm.
Yeah, if it's just going to be the same for now, don't know. Seasonal
Hmm.
vendor progression, not entirely sure what they're going for here.
Yeah, very curious. Very curious what that is.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if they have like a tier, like like a I don't know, like a number, like a level. Is it gonna be like leveled, or you level them up? And
it was like they almost
very curious to see how they
have.
handle that.
I mean, they kind of have stuff now with the ornaments that you grind through. When you open 10 boxes at Zavala, you can finally get the
Hmm.
weapon. Like, is it just now you're going to do seasonal things to go with that? I don't know.
Yeah,
Not
they've
entirely
got
sure
to
what
have
that
stuff in
means.
that pool
Yeah,
also
that
for
hopefully
that to work.
matters.
Yeah,
Not
absolutely.
just like another reskin of
Hmm.
Skaithlock over here for the EDZ that just has a different color on it.
Yeah, about that.
So here's what here I was one step ahead before. So here's where they started splitting stuff up to summer versus 1.2. So
Yes.
before they had said exotic weapon and armor sandbox changes, right now it is just the weapons coming for
Hmm.
May. So they split it off, which hopefully means, as we talked before, exotic weapons, they need some changes. They need a little more powerful, but armor is where the gameplay really starts to change, I think. So, I mean, rework them, that's fine. This is
Yeah.
not going to like change the game per se. Like September's the big one. So if you take the summer to get those exotics feeling a little better and make the ones that come in September as well,
Hmm.
then cool. So
Yeah, I'm absolutely in favor of this because this, in my opinion, marks the first time. Correct me if I'm wrong, E, that exotic armor is actually classified as its own thing. And that is a big deal to me.
yeah,
I'm actually very happy that that's been separated, and that they actually treating it as something different because that has always been an Achilles heel with Destiny meta sandbox stuff. Exotic armors would not get touched. It would be very rare unless they were like completely broken. Then they'd get addressed. But as far as buffs and stuff like that, it always came down to the weapons, and the armors need love. Very happy. Summer's not that far from May. I'm good with that.
Yep, I'm on board, so don't have to argue with me on that one. But I mean, there's so many more options per class. Everybody gets the weapons. So the fact that you have so many more options, I can understand it taking a little longer. But just don't pull in Nightfall unique rewards on me.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't take longer and then not make it worth my while. Even though everybody seems to want this hand cannon right now, I see a lot of people grinding out there. Shout out Pyro. Just Pyro Gaming. He was on like Nightfall 22 last night. Still nothing for him or his buddy Syverson that they both play with. I played with them. They'd both run it 22 times. Still nothing. So that grind is real.
No, it is. It is. As long as the rewards are real, I'm fine with it.
Yeah. It's one of the more unique looking guns. I'll give it that.
Yeah,
so.
It looks hot. Can't front. Shout out to the RDA.
Heroic Strike modifiers are coming. I'm glad they're coming. So
you don't see what dudes. What happened?
Why do I run Heroic Strikes right now? Why would I run Heroic Strikes?
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, because now the strikes don't have unique strike rewards, and that's just specifically now boxed into the Nightfall.
Yep.
What is the grind for doing like they finally add it, but what's the incentive?
Yeah.
Nothing.
And this maybe it's set in this there's so many things. Maybe they're doing all these little pieces here and there. So it's like September's gonna be like we built all the stuff in the background, we put up the frame of the house, now we're gonna set the new house on it. Like I'm kind of hoping that's the idea of what they're trying to do. Is set up all these little pieces underneath it so when you implement a brand new thing and hopefully pull some people to come back for like, hey, it's the brand new Destiny 2.
Absolutely.
So many changes that all these things are in there. So when you come back and you're like, oh, Heroic Strike modifiers are there. This is there. They've been doing stuff. So
I think you're right. I think that's exactly what, because obviously it makes no sense just for them to come back just by themselves without any reward to grind for. So I think it's like what you said. Like they probably can't do everything at once. Let's separate it. Let's add it, and then September, boom, everything that kind of flows in, and those new exotics and new systems are in place, or
and
new
then,
rewards.
Yeah, so hopefully, but for now, I mean, you have a milestone, but if you're max level, you don't even care about those.
Yeah.
At this point, so doing Heroic Strikes, it might be fun to see what the modifiers are and be like, hey, maybe it's a crazy one. We'll like see what it feels like. But I'm not gonna go just grind strikes for hours. There's not incentive to do that. There's nothing to go get.
Exactly.
And the Nightfall challenge cards, we have them, so I'm not entirely sure what's changing. I really don't have a clue on this one. So I don't know if they're gonna change it more because I know they said it was basically Nightfall, like Prestige Nightfall challenges and stuff. It was like 0.9. They were kind of in like a beta phase. They were testing it with us. So maybe this is more modifiers and things like that they're going to put in there. I don't know. It is kind of annoying right now when you're doing the challenge card. You actually, if I'm doing it solo, and maybe I want to crank up the difficulty really high, but I don't want the kickback to orbit, I can't turn the kickback to orbit off. I mean, I know Prestige is hard, but I was like, if you put it in there, you're still forcing. If you're doing Prestige, if you all die, you're going back, no choices. So if I wanted to grind and say, make that give me even a higher score, but right now it's just there, so... But if you gave me more options, maybe it was, Solar Singe and Juggler and whatever, like some could plus, some could minus, like have a little more creativity with it. It give you a little more variety for the week, and somebody like Datto could do, all right, we're going to do some Change challenge with Juggler and Light Switch and everything, see if we can finish this. Like that type of stuff is always kind of cool to do.
Yeah,
completely. So maybe that's what that is. I'm hoping. I remember at one point they were saying that we're not quite done, so I hope that's what that is.
Hopefully they fix it.
Summer, which that's also my wife's name. So
shout out to Summer. Shout out to Wifey.
We've got some more things coming. So we've got a new seasonal event. So by seasonal events, we usually have Crimson Days. Yeah. We'll have Festival of the Lost. We'll have the Dawning, which came in later. So what is it going to be in the summer? Like Monster Hunter World has their spring festival going on right now. So
what was the name of the D1 one where they brought back the raid? What was it called?
Brought back the raids?
They had a name for it. I'm blanking right now. Wasn't it like a...
Hold on.
I can't.
I have another computer I can look.
I am blanking.
It was
But
what? Rise of Iron, and then it was like Iron.
It wasn't the Dawn, because the Dawn came. It was something that kind of celebrated the end of D1, and it ultimately, you know what I mean, kind of put the cherry on a Sunday. We got all the old raids back up to high level. We got the cool gear. Age of Triumph. Wasn't it Age of Triumph?
Yes. See,
Age
that's
of
what you're talking about.
Well, it can't be the Age. There's no Triumph here in D2.
Ouch.
It ain't no Age of Triumph. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, something like that maybe.
Dude, it's been so long since Destiny's been that good.
Yeah.
I can't remember, man.
It's been a while.
Age of Triumph. Yeah, that was the cherry on the Sunday. I do remember now.
So, but new seasonal event, something along those lines. So there'll be a theme. There's going to be something going on. Eververse is going to be like, I got stuff for you. So we'll see what that is. I don't know what the summer is going to be. I mean, they like Overwatch has done their Olympics festivals and things like that, so they'll find something.
Yeah, they'll find something. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, you know what, too? We're forgetting Sparrow Racing.
Yes.
We haven't got Sparrow Racing yet in D2. It's got to be Sparrow Racing. Got to be back. That's my gut. I'm going with Sparrow Racing.
That's your wager?
No Age of Triumph. There's nothing to be triumphant about.
Do you ever listen to the IGN podcasts? No, yeah. Do you ever hear them when they do? It's like, all right, it's an in and out bet. You ever heard those when they do that? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, let's do the in and out. We can do it. So what you got? What you think new seasonal event in summer is?
I just doubt it's Sparrow Racing. So.
Ooh, so you going with a real event then?
I'm just going with something along the lines of like festival or Crimson Days, something themed around like summer weather, something like that. If it has it in there, I'll be buying you a drink for one and probably a meal as well. So I don't mind. If it's Sparrow Racing in D2, I've also got to pull a controller over to my PC because as much as I enjoy that, that's the only thing. Driving a Sparrow just feels a little weird on PC. I can't quite put a finger on why.
We're going to revisit this bet. Summer event. Like I said,
so you're saying Sparrow Racing. All right.
I'm saying Sparrow Racing.
And I'm just saying something that doesn't have Sparrow Racing.
Okay.
All right.
Got it.
Deal.
Sounds good.
All right, we got faction rally improvements. We know they're pretty lackluster right now, besides of paint jobs and ornaments. So hopefully be it some PvP fights against each other, a real life score, like a live scoreboard, something. So we'll see what happens there. Now here's one I did not expect.
What you got?
Bounties.
Wow. First of all, I gotta come at somebody right quick.
Oh.
My boy Kaibatsu. He would fight me. Lord Kaibatsu would fight me tooth and nail in D1 about how the bounty system is antiquated, how they need to get rid of it. It's just extra work going back and forth. And look what we have now. Look where we are now. The community has spoken. No, man, it had to happen. It had to happen. Bounties, because it gave you reasons to do specific things you would not normally do. Those things put you out of sometimes your comfort zone. Maybe you use a subclass you didn't use a lot.
Yep.
Did you use weapons or fight enemies in specific areas? It made you do stuff in the world. Doing stuff in the world creates engagement. That is what is missing from D2. After you do your basic missions, and once you boot up D2, right? In these days, right? You hit the left trigger for us, because console peasants, not you, Ebontis. And you see all the things you have to do in the corner. Yeah, that's nice and it's convenient.
But there's only like 7 of them.
Yeah, it's only like 4 of them. Yeah. So you start 6 to 7, like you said. Once you do your Call of Arms, you do your Nightfall, you do your Flashpoint. That whole thing's done. You feel like I fly through that in a day or two.
Yeah, especially if you've got a group that does the raid. Like if you literally hit all of those, it's like no more milestones. You're like, what do I do?
What you do anymore?
Yeah.
What do I do? There's no incentive to do anything else. Now, if I go to a specific NPC or you go into the tower and you got bounties, which gives you either rewards through experience or what have you, this is what I'm talking about. Let's go. That's a big deal. Bounties coming back is another big deal. I'm about it, man.
No, it's like I'm down too, because you could picture. So say Shaxx is gonna have a couple daily bounties, maybe some weekly bounties.
Yeah.
Zavala could have some as well. Now, so Shax, please bring back the true meaning of war bounty. Knock out 5 bounties. Do 10 daily bounties. You can get a nightfall and say there's like 3 available a week or a day. So bring that one back. Give Crucible a way to get some nice rewards in there. But find another way. Say there's a weekly bounty from Zavala where you have to do a public event on every planet.
Let's go.
And have those things to work towards.
Remember, Trials had bounties.
Yeah. And say if you do that, maybe like you can, I don't know, get a weapon token, give incentive behind those bounties, and again, set yourself up for September to have all these little facets in place, so when people come back, hopefully, cross your fingers if the world doesn't hate Destiny, but Bungie's got that hype train. I got faith. They do, man. I've never seen anybody hype a game like about as well as they do. So.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Marketing team's on fire. That's never been an issue. You know what I'm saying? The marketing team's on fire. It's just, shout out to Attic. He's like, we want this so bad. Yes, we want it so bad. Shout out to Monkey Punch. What up? Yeah, man. I mean, I'm with you, man. I think the marketing team's gonna be fine with that. But I think this is a huge deal.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, if I do, and that's the thing, I'll read plenty of people. They'll be like, there's not that much reason, but it's like if I'm bored and I jump in real quick and just run around in the world and shoot stuff, nothing feels better. You give me incentive to do it, or you give me a bar to fill up a progress bar. We all want to fill up that progress bar.
Facts.
So I agree. Let's do it. PC clan chat should have been there. Thanks. It's finally coming. Exotic armor sandbox changes. So this will be sometime in the summer. So as we were saying, can't wait. I'm really curious what they do.
That's for me. I ain't gonna lie to you, Bunch. After reading I mean, listen, 1.0, what you call it too, is still dope. Because that's going to be in conjunction with new content. So I can't understate that. May 8th is going to be lit in that respect. Because
so much stuff to do,
So much stuff. I like that.
I say so much stuff to do. Crossing my fingers.
We don't have a Curse of Osiris DLC repeat situation where they should know they don't give us a space that's as small as a circle.
Yeah, no. You don't, like, you can't do that again. And give me my damn Sparrow.
Word. Don't try to create that illusion of a big space.
Yeah, they did it in Dreadnought too, which was still bigger than the circle.
Exactly. So, but summer low key might be for me.
No, seriously. Whenever they do some summer patch, and just the fact that they have plans for summer is typically empty for this game.
Yeah.
Like literally after the expansion, it's like till September we're pretty much off. They might do like. They might change some Nightfall. That's when they did Daybreak before. They did like the last 6 weeks. Was Daybreak was all there up until September's. They've actually got stuff planned for summer. So I mean, then
I can celebrate my win over you in the bed, get my drink and food.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm messing with you, bro.
Nah, you're good. I'll buy you the drink. You can buy my food. How's that?
No doubt.
But I will say a glass of wine usually costs less than a steak.
Shots fired. We're gonna see who win that bet.
No, we're good. If Sparrow Racing is there, I'm gonna be happy. So it's like this is one of those I have nothing to lose. I'll be happy buying you dinner. So, yep. So finally we come to season 4, September. Now September is what they're claiming, and I was giving you all the I was saying before. It's like, hey, I don't know, and I still I want to see how these next phases go. How Warmind is released is going to be big. How that expansion feels and things. But September is something large. Yeah, Activision said it's a major expansion. We know it's going to be something big.
Let's keep it real. This is the one.
Yeah.
This is the one that has to save Destiny.
Yeah, Destiny. At least until Destiny 3, I would say.
Yeah. Because let's be honest, the weapon change people are waiting here. This is the bigger revamp. The biggest revamp of all that they can possibly do. So I mean this is it, and we know what they're up against. It's tough out there in these gaming streets.
Oh man, there's so much this fall.
So much. I mean, everything's getting pushed up, and it's no longer the one trick pony. I mean, the one team race in the MMO space, and you got the battle royal games, and you got
Spider-Man probably launching on the same
coming
day
in September now. Red Dead's October. They gotta get it right. It's over. Like it is completely over. Like there's no doubt about it. So it's gonna be Man, Liz, I say May. They got to get it right. That's just me, so that you keep that goodwill going. Like,
Yeah.
okay, that's it. All right,
Build
cool.
build a little faith going into the fall.
Yeah.
Yep. I was like, and I honestly I wonder. So if you had to pick one thing on the list of Warmind stuff that would make the most people happy, what would it be? And I've got one. You're probably not gonna pick the same one.
All right. So you talking about for September?
No,
One thing.
May 8th. No, for
Oh,
May.
for May 8th.
What is the one thing in May that people like this is one thing in there that's going to be like, that's going to build a little faith that, that's going to keep people in the back of their mind saying, okay, I'm waiting to see what's next after this. Just on that list, I'm kind of curious. Or if there's anything.
Limiting me to one though, like
one.
All right, I'm gonna surprise you.
I doubt it because I'm probably going to surprise you.
It's not gonna be as much as I'm gonna go against the grain. You're probably gonna think I'm gonna say the weapon slot thing, move up the weapon slot deliverable.
Oh no, I mean that's not happening.
That's not happening, right?
No.
So what I'm gonna say is I want my boy Gaming Addict back. That's what I want. So in order for him to come back, and this was actually trending on Reddit today. I looked at it and it said Raid Layer has destroyed the anticipation of the Warmind raid. Because at the end of the day, you can have this great story. We learn about the Warmind, we learn about that. But the thing about past DLCs is that you actually fought the raid in the location the story of the DLC was in.
Yeah.
Because of this stupid Raid Layer, we know we're going back to apartment 2D in the Leviathan. No one wants to go back to the Leviathan. We've learned this lesson. Curse of Osiris.
I'm hoping they throw you a curveball and actually don't.
Yeah, what up, Punk? What's going on, man? So it's like, here's the thing. And Attic is completely right. I remember we were on Iron Lord's podcast. Shout out to Mr. Negative. Him and Negative were going at it. This is when Raid Layers were announced, right? We didn't know what a Raid Layer was.
Yep.
We said we were going to give it a chance. It's a 3-part thing. We'll be on the Leviathan, yada, 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 right? Here's the problem. When you played Curse of Osiris, you had this supposed great story, the Egyptian theme, yada, yada, yada. The story ends. There's no indicator. There's no reason to go back to the Leviathan, but somehow the game is making you do it.
Yep.
It disconnects you, man. It disconnects you. So it needs to be there. And I think they need to, I doubt they do this, but they need to bite the bullet and say, you know what? Story-wise, this doesn't connect. It doesn't connect.
And we talked about that before, too.
Yeah, let's put the raid in the Warmind in Mars. Put it in Mars. Make it a raid, not a Raid Layer. Because no disrespect to the last one, I don't count it. Ebontis, I don't count that thing, man. I don't care how great the boss is. If we can get to the boss in that quick, it's like what, 2 basically room area, 2 small hub areas.
Yeah.
It's not a raid. It's not a raid. It's cutting corners. Raid layers, I don't say they must die, but in my opinion, I need Gaming Addict back. He would be so excited if there was a full-fledged, it probably won't be Taken King style, but at least let's say if they pull a Wrath of Machine style.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want that?
Oh, I mean, both of those were awesome raids. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's my request. And I'm very curious about your request.
Oh. Well, you went off page. I was going for literally what was on the list.
Okay, let's go.
So for me, the one that I think that would actually give people a thank God moment, Vault Space. If you give me proper vaults, multi-emote, yeah, you want to dance, you want exotic masterworks, they're cool. Weapon sandbox changes, we know but just the fact that I don't have to log in and manage my inventory every time I log in,
absolutely
fix that.
It's annoying, and we got to keep using third-party apps and all those other fools. Yeah. I agree.
So I was just going for a funny moment there, but yeah, you went all serious, and I'm like, well, mine doesn't sound as cool now. You took all the wind out of my sails. I was just gonna pick one and throw you off with Vault Space, and you're like, no, I want Raid Layers.
I gotta dig into crazy.
No, you went deep on me. No, but I mean, I honestly agree, and I cross my fingers, hope that they're actually going to throw you a curveball and be like, yeah, and the raid's sitting on this planet too, and everybody's like, oh, the raid layers are gone.
Yes,
Or
I want a cinematic of the Leviathan blowing up or sinking like the Titanic.
that is actually
I don't know
season
what
4. That's season 4 when the darkness comes in, shoots the planet eater out of the sky, and then there's a new ship outside of Nessus. So
Exactly.
I want that
I pay
cinematic.
money for that.
Yep. Yeah, throw money at the screen so you can see that one.
I throw money at the screen. Quick for that.
Yep. So, well, for September, we've got a couple things that many people had asked about, and then a couple that I'm kind of curious. So, gear collections is number 1.
Yes.
So, do you think this is like kiosks?
Yeah.
Or do you
probably.
think it's sets? Like I had
hope-
talked about. I could hope it's sets, but
can
unfortunately, I think it's kiosks.
I think it's kiosk. I hope it sets though, man. I mean, they need that in the worst way.
Yeah. So we'll see. Records. So
Yes.
record books coming back. It took Taken King to bring a record book in the first time. So I'm sure this will be something similar. And then the big two, we'll just talk about them all together. Weapon slot changes, weapon randomization.
Boom. Boom.
Those are
Let's
huge.
go. Let's go.
So we know weapon slots people have talked about. We've talked about them before. Too much of the community just is like, I want options. I don't want just all primaries and everything lumped into this other bucket where I only am going to use a rocket launcher. Give me options. Give me variety. So we know that's there.
Yep.
Randomization.
Mm.
That's a big one.
It's huge.
I mean, that's taking a developer that sits on stage going, hey, we're doing all this. We're finding a way to make your 10th one. Okay, we didn't figure that out. We're going to go... It's literally completely stepping back on your launch of a game. I mean, and that's putting your foot in your mouth and being like, we screwed up. So
Yeah, that's the mea culpa. That's the mea culpa, man. I mean, absolutely. Shout out to Punkish and Game City. I miss Destiny so much. I will play the story on the new expansion. Just hope somehow, some way it pulls me back in, but it probably won't. Hey, man, I hear you, Punk. It's one of them things, man, that I'm curious. I want to ask you a question. You can put this in the chat. What would it take? Because we want to poll the community. So what would it take specifically? Is it the weapon slot? If you had to rank one thing, if they fixed, that would get you back, Punk, put that in the chat and we'll revisit, because I'm very, very curious about that.
Yeah.
But as far as like when we're back to the September thing with the season 4 is just like, this is a big deal. Weapon randoms, and I think this is the reason why, honestly, Ebontis, they pushed mods off the deliverable from May, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And they moved it here because I think that's gonna be it. My gut tells me it's not gonna come back in the way everybody thinks.
Well, of course, they always got to do it Bungie style.
Exactly. I don't think it's gonna be all the way old school D1 where you get a gun through RNG, boom, it's different from the next guys. I think those mods are gonna be part of it, and it's just gonna be see how they implement it and what level. See, here's my thing, and I'm gonna go off on a slight long point tangent. Sorry.
You're good.
Here's my thing. And I don't want to be disrespectful. It can't be as minute as Masterwork stat adjustments.
Yes. Oh.
Because as much as I love Masterworks, let's be 100. The actual perk, the orbs are powerful.
Yeah, those are crucial. Those are big.
Powerful. However, the actual perk adjustment is so minimal, it's a joke. You can't even notice that. It has to affect the gun. You have to get a better Devils or something that really makes that gun different. Like if the reload speed got to be crazy, or if it comes in impact, the impact like where it borderline breaks it, because at the end of the day, that's what you grind for, right? You want that God roll. We don't got God rolls, man. Like that's a problem. Like that's what people played hours upon hours. That was the game within the game. Yo, I got to grasp Malak. It got Head Seeker, and it got such and such, right?
Yeah, exactly. Why would you grind a strike like 100 times to vaporize that boss with like a tether and 2 celestial golden guns like 20 times in a row? They had like the carrot on the stick mastered.
Facts. Real quick, Punk, answer my question. Weapon rolls is nice, But for me, wow, the raid, he's just like Attic. He said, I want the raids to be better. I want gear and weapons to drop after a boss. He said the key shit has got to go. Yeah, they're working on it. They're working on it. They went back
Yep.
to trying to put drops back and not the Chuck E. Cheese tokens. Yeah,
Yeah.
they definitely worked on that since you've been gone. But the raid, yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's funny. It's gonna be interesting to see how they handle the Warmind raid. I know for sure. Well, let's say this: by September, we know for a fact we're gonna get a new raid, and it can't be the Leviathan. Let's just say that.
No, that one won't be for sure.
Yeah. But what you got? What you got, Ebontis?
I mean, seriously, it's like when you think about everything that could come and you think about the raids,
Mhm.
a lot of the things they did in D1 are what they saw as issues in or in D2, or was what they saw as issues in D1. Okay, so people are farming checkpoints for specific things. We want to, make them play. So they put the central hub in the raid, and then you have to go from the rooms, but always come back and fight the same thing.
Yep.
You can literally look back at D1 and be like, I can see where the ideas came from for some of this. Okay, weapon balancing is really hard. Random rolls, let's take them out. Okay, that didn't work. So it's like they've had like a really rough year of learning lessons to say things we wanted to try and fix, things we thought would help or make things easier or whatever. Not a lot of them worked.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you're coming back to people not liking raid layers. You've got weapon slot changes that are either going to be D1 like or maybe even a fourth slot. You've got randomization coming back, be it with mods or perks or both. I'd like to see both, honestly. All of those things, it's setting up September, if they can get enough of this stuff done, to have real potential. But I think also,
Yes.
as you said, if there's, even if it's like 80% great and there's something that like starts rubbing people the wrong way, like that 20% starts getting under people's skins, there's so many things that come out after it, they're going to have a hard time holding them. And they will anyway. I think it's going to be hard. Now, do they set up September with a December thing to follow it? To try and pull people back? Like, you have all the holidays, you have Red Dead going on, you've got a month of November to play Red Dead coming out the holidays. Okay, December 15th expansion. Like,
Yeah, they got to. They got to. I mean, if they follow protocol, which is the classic protocol, December has to be another. What you call it? Has to be another expansion.
Yeah.
It has to be. That's the Activision roadmap / protocol. So, if things were going good, that's what would happen. So I mean,
Indeed.
and based on the fact that they're still keeping the September date, remember me and you we talked about this ad nauseum. Like, should they or shouldn't they? Because of the state of the game is so bad right now. Should they just push it out of that window? And they're sticking to it. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. Man.
I guess we'll see. And then I guess we'll kind of see if then you roll into like January and you're kind of like, all right, now I got everything. I got overwhelmed. I played some games. What if it popped out now? Like, I'd still be kind of curious. It's like, I know it won't. Obviously, September's there, but it's like,
Right.
we'll see how all this goes. They're setting up a lot of little pieces, like random heroic strike modifiers,
Yes.
bounties. Like, bounties in and of themselves in a random summer drop, people aren't going to come back for that. You'll get people back for Warmind, but bounties on them their own. But bounties with a release in September, with like a reworked quest system like Taken King has, with weapon slot change, with randomization, with potentially a new class or a new subclass, or all of those. That's a lot of crap. So you combined everything with a solid foundation that they've been trying to do since they figured out they screwed up.
Yep.
I mean, this could, see, hopefully the stars can align. Best way I can phrase that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you nailing it. I mean, it's one of those things that on individually as themselves they don't wow, but in combination, and let's just hope that September is that Taken Queen DLC is what it is. Now you've got all these things that we've already put in place from May to summer. There's a chance. I'm not gonna get guessed. There's a slither of hope that they may be able to get it right. And the thing that I'm hoping that really feels good is what we talked about earlier, that summit that they had.
Yeah.
All the top guys in the community, the guys that know this game, that breathe this game, that had what we were grinding in D1 with. We all know what Destiny needs. We know what makes Destiny Destiny. So that if they combine all that with the feedback, then there should be no reason why it doesn't come back. The question is it too late? The question is it the competition? This is a different beast out here. You got Fortnite in these streets, you know what I mean? You got all these amazing, great single player games, shout out to God of War, coming. man.
Yep.
You got, you know what I'm saying? You got it's competition. Destiny is not the only thing in town that could be able. Destiny would be able to withstand that because it was so good. You know, now because of the state, you may have lost people for good. So we have to see how that does. And then one thing I do say, I will say though, I am confident that the marketing is going to be lit. That's one thing Bungie knows how to do is market a game.
Yeah.
So I expect fireworks at E3. I expect them to get us hype. Many people will be like, "Oh, nope, I've been burnt. Sorry." There's gonna be people that say that. There's
Oh
no doubt
yeah.
about it.
But there's
But
also people who haven't touched it before be like, okay, this sounds cool.
exactly, and then we keep doing Flashpoint, and we put out that episode. We'll be like, "Hey guys, the water is nice.
You can
It's
put your
safe
foot
to
back
come
in.
back,
Yeah.
baby." Like they got it. You know what I'm saying? You know we're gonna be the first because we've been doing this in the dark ages right now.
Yeah.
we're,
Seriously.
we're riding the flag high, hoping. You know what I mean? So absolutely.
So, lot to hope for. And, I mean, May 8th is not that far away.
Not that far away. Not that far away, man.
So,
Like I said, it's gonna be interesting to see what Warmind does. Warmind actually is more important to me. I'm curious to see how they handle story and raid. I'm very curious.
me too. I mean, the story is a big one because
Mhm.
Curse of Osiris, it had to be made in like a month. I mean, I say that. I have no idea how long it takes. Those guys could have been 6 months. We gave you everything we could. We're trying. But the
Mhm.
planning, I know so much here. So much is already planned in advance. You guys can tell how long a sandbox update takes. But
Yeah.
when you have two strikes that are literally here's two missions and the strikes are the same thing, that literally means you don't have enough time to there's something happened.
But you know what hurt? Why they had to mess up my man's deal? Like I took it personal. I'm like,
Osiris's
this is
DLC.
my guy. This is the dude I've been waiting to see. Shout out to Jay Fonzarelli. He was on TSP. Shout out to Punk and them guys. They were on TSP, and they were talking about it. It was just like, you know how many people wanted to see Osiris and have that, and for them to just fumble this. I almost want a do-over. Like I almost want him to make a cameo in another DLC because it's like it's just unfair what they did to my man. Like, but anyway, I digress. Let's see what the Warmind does. I will tell you this though. I would like to see some Siva back. I would like some Siva-fied stuff if possible. That would be cool. I miss Siva. I miss what you call it, the Rat and the Machine, Ray. Those will feel good moments for me in Rise of Iron. So if I can get a little bit of those feels in conjunction, I would feel good about it.
I'm okay seeing Siva,
Uh-oh.
but I want something different.
Oh, I feel you. I feel
Like,
you.
we have seen the same Vex Hobgoblins, the same Taken Thrall, the same Hive Knights for 4 years. I understand it's a universe, but it is a universe. I want more.
Facts.
I want a little more variety.
Didn't they say new enemy types? Didn't they? Isn't the verbiage
I
in
was
the
gonna say, I was
DLC?
like, it's somewhere in here, and I'm trying to get to where I can read it. So hold that thought. But that's what I want. I mean, and they even said it, so I got to get there so I can read.
You being greedy. You want too much. I'll mess with you. We'll see.
So
I
the
ain't
community.
got confidence. I mean, look, if they do that new enemy type, we'll see.
Yep. So they also mentioned they now have a plan for raid prestige changes, including raid layers, which unfortunately means raid layers is plural, which probably means we know what Warmind's gonna have.
Mm.
I'd love if they did a raid layer and the raid just blew everybody away, but that's way too much development time. So I mean
Exactly.
that's asking a lot. And it will update the next development. And we'll update where it will land in the next development roadmap. It's not even on the roadmap for May.
Mhm.
Where is it?
Yeah, where is that?
But they also say mod changes are being incorporated into our new plan for weapon randomization. So as you said, it's in there. Now I'd like to see more randomization perks and mods. So like, hey, there's this gun I can get, but I know this one mod can help with this. So you can customize on both levels. Give us all the ways to customize, because
Yes.
maybe it's like this. This god tier player can play with the scout rifle that has a bit more kick to it, but have a little more powerful perk. Maybe I switch it. And I want a laser. I want like a laser scout like pulse rifle, and you can just like go spec it full stability. Just if we get more options that way, I'm okay with it.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So we jumped ahead. We dropped the name already a couple times, but this had the expansion for Season 3 is called Warmind. If you guys, again, want this, there is a nice 4K wallpaper. It looks fancy.
Yes, it does.
So here's where it says, and it will send you to new places to meet new heroes and battle new enemies. Now, new enemies for Season 2 or for Destiny 2 could be Siva, because we haven't seen him in here yet. We've already seen Taken. It's the only thing we haven't.
Right.
It does look kind of Siva-ish, but also it's just Warmind. It's just like, that could be just what an AI looks like back there. So, but I know with the Warmind, people feel Siva, so it definitely has that shape to it. So we'll see. Season 3 marks the beginning of our new plan to deliver Crucible content, so this is actually kind of cool. They're releasing all new Crucible maps being developed for Warmind into matchmaking. Same goes for the maps we've released for Curse of Osiris. So all maps will be in matchmaking for everyone, whether you have it or not. So it's a bigger player base. Nobody's going to be like sectioned off if you don't have the newest map or whatever. Everybody's going to have the same maps and same options. So honestly, that's great. The only thing is to do private matches, you have to buy the expansion to see the new maps. But honestly, doesn't bother me one bit because I'm probably not going to be in private matches at all. So
I actually like this. And listen, let's be real. You know, they're not in a position right now to be trying to segment in community with maps based on the player base right now.
No, absolutely.
So I like that. You know, even if you didn't buy the DLC, you play Crucible, you'll see the new Crucible maps in there.
Yeah, so same thing as before. This just like post-launch content, expansions, new campaign, new destination rewards, new raid lair. I want this to be something else, but we all do. Now, so, okay, let me ask you this. I know the raid lair was lackluster because it was only a couple pieces. And we did get a piece of one. Now, what if, for example, they pull a combination of, say, both D1 expansions? Say we get a raid lair, but say we get like a PoE activity with Warmind.
Say it's like PoE activity.
I mean, literally almost like a horde mode. It's like you have a Warmind, say you go into an AI thing, almost like, what is the thing in X-Men?
I know what you're talking about. I forget off top.
But it's like, it's something where it's like, it could even like make things that just like that you could work through, but it's just like, it's a Warmind, so it's a giant AI, so it could generate things that you could do almost in like a setting like that, and it could just be almost infinite. Like, say the raid layer's there, but it also gives you something else. And again, this is the expansion. New raid coming later, and maybe they'll get the feedback that they don't like the raid layers, but
I still have a problem because at the end of the day,
the story disconnect.
Yeah, listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, this is where it's gonna disgust me. We're gonna play this content, great scenery, great backdrop. Let's say the story is fantastic. Then at the end,
somehow you go into the Leviathan.
I'm gonna see that the gold font, and I'm gonna see Cabal that have nothing to do with anything. I'm gonna be upset.
No, I can't argue with that. I was literally just asking, kind of curious, but
yeah, it just it's like, as much as the concept of raid layer, I guess, you know, I
don't think they can do that for season 4. I don't think it makes sense. Like,
it doesn't make sense. To me, I'm gonna just keep it. I'm gonna call a spade a spade. Sorry, Bungie, my guys. I think it's lazy development. I think this is the real reason why we have raid layers is that, let's be honest, a raid, in their defense, takes a long time to create.
Yeah, a real one's awesome.
Extremely intricate. It is extremely time consuming. And the way they looked at it is like, look, man, we just can't keep pumping out these raids each time. So how about somebody came in the boardroom and said, hey, what about raid layer? I'm telling you, that's what it went down.
I don't doubt it at all.
Yeah,
I think the biggest thing we went off.
It shouldn't have been the place. But they knew they couldn't meet the deliverables. This again, I shouldn't say I know. I'm theorizing.
Yes.
They could not. They possibly felt to themselves these things are too kind. Look at Wrath Machine, you know. And that was just made by
that
had got delayed. That was made by the live team, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Shout out.
Yeah. So if we want something on Taken King scale, see, this is where I'm okay with them pushing back DLC. You know what I mean? So if they push it back,
what? I'm sorry, you're okay with it not being in September? What?
Listen, if I get a full raid, and then
Yeah.
no more apartment 2A, 2B, 2C, no more. It's got to be a full-fledged raid. You know how I knew Destiny really fell so hard. Besides the fact everything else going on, when that raid layer came out, who really cared about the world first?
Yeah.
Be honest. Like
No, I know.
nobody cared that. What's the name of the boss? We don't even know the name of the. What is it? Argos.
Yes.
Right. I don't. There's no story behind. It just feels so pieced together and
It's like a
cheap.
strike in kind of a
It's
way.
a
It's a more
strike.
intricate strike.
It's a glorified six-man strike.
Yep.
Let's call it what it is. And they gotta get rid of it. Now they may not be able to get rid of it in time for Warmind. I see Attic in the chat. Raid layer needs to be a free update in the spring, and it should never take place in raids. Amen. It can't come back September. No more layers. They've
Yeah.
got to know this. The numbers indicate no one's really doing it. If you got a good raid in Destiny, you know how many times you play it?
Way too many. But that was also the thing that hurt it too. There was an incentive to play it.
Right.
Why were you going in D1 to play Vault of Glass over and over? Because you could not get to max level any other way.
Any other way. And it had unique drops.
Absolutely. Some of the best looking armor in the game at that point.
Exactly. And the Prestige had a different pool set. Like
I remember my glowy butt towel.
Holla. You remember, right? Like, this is what it is. So
Seriously.
when Leviathan, for as good as I don't think Leviathan's a bad raid. I like Leviathan now. Like, but when you're telling me to go back in there just because I'm gonna get a different color on my Legend of Acreus, you've lost me.
Yes.
I'm not doing the dogs with 6 dogs or 8 dogs for that.
Yeah.
For a brown colored suit.
Yeah, I was like, and the thing about the Orbital Prime quest that worked is because at the end you got the gun. You didn't have to again. You had done the raid so much at that point.
Yes.
You knew it. And then when you got the gun after doing all the different pieces and this over here and all this other crazy stuff, when you got it, you were done. When you do Legend of Acreus, you get like stage 1. And you're like, now I got to go do the thing I've already grinded for to do it again, do the raid at least 3 more times to level it up in there.
Terrible handling, terrible rewards.
Okay, so
They've gotta
here,
fix
so okay, so it sounds like for you, raid is like your big thing. Even season 4, just a real raid, not a raid layer, nothing connected. So mine, I would, and they mentioned a piece of this in the weekly update, but it's not the way I wanted it to be mentioned. What I want is for you to get max level, it's going to take some grinding at the hardest content. The way it was in Destiny 1. I mean, if you're gonna, I don't want Forever 21. I like the progress. They've kind of spoon-fed it. They've been making it easier and easier and easier. And that I did not, and that's what probably took me out of this game the most. My buddy was doing the raid a little more than me because I think he just played a little quicker, like in the first week or so. But I was doing some public events, like when I was up and he was sleeping or whatever, in off hours. I was still doing public events, and I ended up getting same max level without touching it. Then I went in at full level. So you're taking my whole incentive to do a raid, to do the end game content, to get. There are guns I don't have, but if I don't have that progression, that final progression by doing the hardest stuff. It's not there. So that's my want. I want you to start separating those. Don't spoon feed to being max level. I don't want that.
And we're going to address that. They do mention something about PvE balancing that we're going to touch. But I just want to shout out to Attic in the chat. He says he doesn't mind a raid layer if it goes with story. But see, Attic, I still disagree because even if it goes with the story, which is dope. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not discounting that. If it connects with the story, dope. But it can't be that short. Because a layer ultimately, to me, is just a few hub worlds, 2 or 3. You get to a mini boss or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like put it this way: if they're layers, each layer has to be on the level of Leviathan.
I mean, that's my thoughts to it.
Yeah. Absolutely. If it's on the level of Leviathan and it's thematically, it's a continuous story that's seamless, that flows. Absolutely. Oh, okay. He said not in general, but taking place of a raid. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely feel you on that. If they do that, I'm cool with it. Yeah, they can call it whatever. They can call it the raid condo, the raid terrace. I don't care what they call it. If it flows and it has the length and the weight of content, the meat of content, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think this comes back when they had that narrative lead position posted. We had that whole long description about story, and it's like we want it to connect, and that includes the raid. That includes the strikes as well. You're gonna give me heroic strike modifiers. Give me a reason as we progressed. We even did that before.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like go through. Here's this planet you go through. Okay, here's the like. Give us a reason to make things connect. So you're like, oh, I remember this point when I was in the journey. It's like I came across Cade and it was on Nessus, and then I had to go do the inverted spire to finish it. Like, pull it into the story. And I know they want this game to be a first-person shooter, but too many of your people that love this game too much need it to be more of an RPG than a shooter.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's got, or at least be 100%. I mean, the shooter is there. You guys have it nailed, no question. But you've got to pull that RPG stuff up equal to it at least.
Absolutely.
So the rest of the game continues to make sense. Because there's too many people that aren't just, I'm going to be a Call of Duty shooter person. Like, I mean, that's like a stereotype, and it's not fair to say that.
Yeah.
But in turn, it's just like, I want that whole game I want it to be a cohesive thing.
A cohesive thing. You want it to matter. You want a story. And to their defense, I felt there were some attempts with Leviathan. I felt for the first time, I remember playing with Attic and we flew in. And like, oh, they doing a cinematic on the fly-in? Okay. You know, the boss talked to you at the end. You know, it was cool. It was a cool attempt. You know what I mean? When you started the gauntlet, he'd laugh. He'd say, all right, cool. You made it like a game show theme. Cool. But every raid has to be like that, plus more and more cinematics. You do that, you get people emotionally invested. They want to play that raid all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I guess that was the thing about the other raids. Every raid had more than one boss.
Oh, thank you. Amen.
We had boss fights. We didn't have rooms with ads and mechanics. Now, if you had rooms with ads, mechanics, and then you brought a boss out, take the baths, for example. Do the baths, do that, whatever. And then say whatever, like, where that center section is where you shoot those three. You have to do that, and then you go behind it, and then there's a boss fight. Just the same way it was the War Priest. So you had the totems that unlocked, and then you had the boss fight. So there's mechanics to get to it, but then you literally have a boss fight.
Facts.
Like, you have to have boss fights. You have the maze. You have the dark maze with the pits and like the numbers and open the doors. Then you do Golgoroth.
Yes. Yes, you're nailing it. I mean, I remember we called him affectionately in the War Machine the cable guy. The TV's behind him. You know, you know, he was a great boss. I've got his name. You shoot the TVs, and then you throw the volleyball. You play dodgeball.
Axis. No.
Not Axis.
Vosik.
Vosik was dope.
Yeah.
Vosik was a good boss. They need boss fights. Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. I mean, that's the Siege engine was in a sense a boss fight because I mean that was actually almost less of a boss fight, but it felt epic in the scale of a boss fight.
And it was cool. Everyone worked together. You grabbing apart. It was cool. Like they've got to get back to that, man.
Yeah. I mean, the dogs were like, okay, they're elite dogs. You just have to do a lot of damage. The gauntlet, you're mostly running and shooting ads. I mean, they went Taken King mechanics so heavy, but forgot the big guys. So, and then shout out to Yagami in chat. I've talked to her for a while. Another PC player. Woo woo. But she was like, Kingsfall was a great raid, and it was an actual raid. It was a bit long, and I think, and for some people it was a bit long, but that's where checkpoints come into play. They got rid of like checkpoints in Callus with the raid in there because you always have to go back to that main room, and I think that took away from the progression. Repeating that thing 3 times, you're like, okay, I get it.
Go to the underbelly and skip mad stuff, like
It was, I don't know. There's the cool ideas behind it were there. Yeah, like it was a cool idea. The underbelly was honestly really, really, really cool because it sticks with the theme of the ship, and it's a giant world. Like, I love all the ideas behind that, but just give us some more progression. So
yes, agreed. But also,
yeah, told you guys, long point, faux show.
Long point. We back, baby. 2 weeks off. Long point.
2 weeks off is going to be an epic one. So, all right, this week at Bungie. I love this picture, by the way. at the top.
Hilarious.
So this is your tree of probability strike. The Warmind's like, oh, I'm here. What's going? Smash. Hulk smash. So,
Yep.
but I have figured this one out for solo and prestige. So, yeah. And even Yagami's like, make the underbelly as an aftermath of beating Callus.
Absolutely.
So do that and then go wander around and like have some secrets that way. I mean, it's cool. Have it be just an unlocked area you can go wander around after you beat the raid the first time. Just like the like going to Mercury when you finish trials. It unlocks.
Yep,
So then you would have like the main raid landing, then you'd be like, okay, now I'm gonna go into the underbelly. Like it's a kind of a different point, you're gonna enter it from a different area, and then you're gonna go explore a different world. Like if you gave us something like that, there were some ads down there, some cool secrets, that'd be that's the only place mainly with secrets on all of Destiny 2 is the raid. And most people were like, I don't really want to do the raid. So
exactly. I completely agree.
So this week at Bungie, yes, we covered the roadmap, you guys know. And here it is. If you guys do want a wallpaper, right here, you got 1080 and 4K. Looks epic, crisp images, art team. I wish I had the skills you did. I will never be there. So, awesome sauce. Keep it going. But May 8th it arrives, the stream of the reveal. 2 weeks before on April 24th. We're literally 11 days away from it.
Yeah, we're right there.
Can you believe it's that close? 11 days? Yep. What?
11 days.
Developers from Bungie will be on hot seats along with some representatives from our partners at Vicarious Visions. Shout out to Vicarious Visions. Yeah, that's why literally, like, if you ever come into town, I'm going to sit you down at my computer and let you play on PC on a good rig, and you're going to be like, crap. Can't go back.
Listen, man, don't you try to tempt me to keep the devil out my house. Don't you tempt me with that 4K 60.
What's up, Ehab? How you doing? But, I mean, it was the game is good. The game,
and the console peasant. I don't want to see because I'm gonna want it. Then it's gonna be a problem, and all my clan is here. I can't stop being evil, Ebontis. Stop it.
No, I can't do that. It's like I gotta poke the bear. Gotta see what happens. But no, seriously, the what I will say about Vicarious Visions. Porting a game to any other system, be it Switch or portable or PC, is never easy. And that's a worry that some people have with Monster Hunter World, for example, is like Capcom ports sometimes suck, from what I've heard. I have no idea if it's true or not, but one of my buddies was just saying it's like they don't always quite get those right. So the fact that Vicarious Visions, I just want to shout them out. They nailed the port. They absolutely nailed it. If you've got a powerful PC, it runs and looks great. I mean, the particle effects and things that are added in there that just give it a bit more pizzazz is cool. Yeah. But just the fact that it is still Destiny to every letter of that word, that is what I wanted to thank them for. So just shout out Vicarious Visions, that PC port, crushed that. Absolutely crushed that. Shout out to Ehab, giving me a sub. Wow, thanks guys. Woo woo. Awesome.
Woo, sub to that man. Let's go.
I appreciate that. Trust me. Any and all support to either of our worlds, be it Iron Lord's podcast, he's on YouTube doing the same thing live right now. Nice. It's awesome. So
nice. Chat is lit.
Yep. Sub hype.
We got ultimate power.
Okay, so here is the weekly update. And they're talking about they're changing the power level, how it affects how you're going to face enemies. Now, this is kind of what I was saying. They're giving you more. This is some of what I was saying is good, but it's not all the way there.
Right.
So I don't want us to be handed max level. But the fact that level is going to make a bigger difference, we'll see. Now, it says normally it was up to 40 power levels delta. There's going to be a difference between you and an enemy. Now they're going to have it to where 50 power levels between you and an enemy is going to, for one, make them immune, which I'm glad to see something like that. If you wander into the wrong area, you should probably get worked.
Facts. That's a D1 staple. When you shoot the guy had the question mark over his head, you knew you were not strong enough to be there.
Yeah, I mean, and that's like, take anything, if you guys have ever played anything like Bloodborne, and you wander off into the wrong enemy, you're like, oh, smash, and I'm done, starting over. Like, you learn lessons, but that's literally, like, that gives the game gravity, that gives the enemies weight, that makes it not just like, here's another head I'm going to pop off.
Yes,
so
completely agree.
I mean, absolutely on that type of stuff. So that's good. I like the fact that, but my only question is, I'm kind of curious how they're going to implement that. So
yes.
So basically they're saying 50 powers or level is going to be the difference. It is 40 right now. Now, if it's 40 right now, people are still prestiging at Nightfall with like 45 down and still doing it. I mean, there's some points where like if Drakion shoots you with his sniper, it's going to be a 1 shot as opposed
Right.
to a 2 or 3, basically. So, I mean, I understand where it definitely gets harder. My only worry about this is
What's your worry?
I don't want it to just be an artificial difficulty the way they made raid enemies level 33 when we're level 32.
Oh, we gonna fight. I like that. We gonna fight. We gonna have a Flashpoint fight. I like that, bro. Because listen, here's my side.
But it's just fake. It's
It
just
is
an
fake.
artificial number. Like, make him 32, but I mean, give more health, but it's just, you were easier to kill, they were harder to kill, but it's just an artificial number. Don't make him 33. That's.
So help me understand your side. Help me understand. Like, your main thing is you don't want the power gap between like the enemies. I'm confused.
I do
Help me
want the
understand
power
your side.
gap, but don't make it just artificial by saying it's like, okay, you're going to be 33 and I could never get up to your level. So you can make an enemy difficult. I'm not saying that. You can make an enemy difficult, hard to kill. That's fine. But don't just make it artificial to a point of like you will never be able to even match them, even if you grind for absolute
So your
ever.
main thing is okay. I get it. No, we're on the
Don't
same
make it
page.
forever unattainable.
Right.
Like you can start me at 300 in a raid and I get one piece of gear and maybe be 305, 310, 315, 320, and I can grind all the way up to 350, and they can still be kicking my butt at 350. But when I get there,
But
then
when you
it's
get there, you should be able to squash them. Now they should be on a level where you can
on a
handle
level
them.
where I can like it, where I feel the difference.
Yes,
I don't want it to be
agree.
completely
I agree.
unattainable outside of that range.
No,
That's
you're right.
my. I hated
I
that fake.
misinterpreted what you said.
Yeah.
I mean, no, you are correct. It has to be attainable. That level, once you get there, you have to be like it can't be there forever.
Yeah.
Always going to be, that step on you. Like they have to equate that because what it is again, this goes back to leveling and feeling powerful. Once you
Right.
get max light level, you know what I mean? It's going to be easier still with that system, but at the same time, it's still going to be a struggle, right? So you want to feel power. You want to be rewarded for the fact that you hit that like level. So it should be a little scaled back in my opinion. So I do agree with you in that sense.
Yeah. So no fight. We subsided. We're good.
We subsided.
But you got me in chat. Like level 29 to level 30, that one level for that hard mode raid, that made a difference. If you were all 29, or what was it going in? I'm trying to think. Going into the hard mode raid the first time, it was the people like had 5 people go through, one finished and came, like however they did it. Like they had somebody get to that max level. I think that was later on. But 29 to 30 made a difference. As soon as you finished your full set, because I was 29.8. I had everything but the helm. 26. Okay, thank you. You got me. I was 29. I was like everything but the helm. I was stuck. And as soon as you made it to 30, you finally got that final piece. It completed your set, and you actually felt a difference. So I want the enemies to be difficult. That's fine.
What
I was
raid
like,
are
I-
you talking about which you made the difference? Just curious.
Level 29 and 30, that was vaulted glass.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
But the other pieces, don't hand me the difficult. Don't hand me my level. So I
Right.
want to fight for that level. I want to feel accomplishment to get there. And it's awesome. If I walk into level, like if you walk into a raid, like, have you ever played World of Warcraft?
No, I haven't, but I know the concept.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, most people, but it's just the idea of the question icon. There's literally, some of those raids are huge and they have like 10 bosses to them, which sounds amazing, first off.
Right.
So, as you progress through, like if you go in the first couple areas, you're working on getting gear that people only get for weeks. Like you work on leveling up your entire group. Then you can work on that second boss. Because you try and go to like boss 3 or 4, you are literally not capable of doing it.
Absolutely.
So-
But I got something else I want to add that I think we even forgetting about. Besides that, which everything you're saying is 100% accurate, and I completely agree with it. Besides that, what made us feel powerful was the fact that when you beat said raid, said equipment helped you in said raid.
Yes, absolutely.
And helped you with said encounter.
Yeah,
So
like
you
kill oracles faster.
kill oracles faster. I remember, the Rat to the Machine, when I fight Vosik, I had the chest that, reduced damage, when you, that bomb
when you're holding
shield.
when you're holding the bomb. Yep.
Yeah, like, so you could take more damage. You have to get into that. Now, I know they kind of did like a Band-Aid one where it's like, okay, And it's I shouldn't say banned. It is powerful. The stuff that they've added right now for
Well, the
Leviathan.
class items powerful. Everything else
But
for me is kind of meh.
it's not counter powerful,
Yeah.
right? It should be specific. Like, okay, well, I shouldn't say that because some people do like the fact that it's class and it works.
Also, like double down on that.
Yeah, just get
So
more
give me a gun that is like, hey, this works better on oracles.
Yes.
So that's an extra mod slot or an extra perk on top of all the other stuff.
Raid weapon, but
Yeah.
put it on the weapons. Exactly. Like, does double damage against the dogs.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why is this such a, when on plates, whatever, like, you're doing plus something damage.
When in the Shadow Realm, do extra damage to the floating skulls. Like, okay, so that means it's like, hey, this auto rifle is really good against the skulls. I don't have it yet, so this is going to grind, but when I get there, I'm going to know to switch out and get ready for that fight.
Exactly. It made you want to wear the gear. That was so key, man. I remember feeling a sense of pride, like, yo, I got the boots for this. When I got the when I'm doing or after machine, you had the hand, what is it, the shot cannon, and you move faster.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Remember the gloves that gave you all that heavy?
Oh my god, so much.
Some of the best raid gloves. Those raid gloves, whenever you killed fallen enemies, and it gave you so much heavy. Like, they've got to get back to that.
Yeah. And, like, don't be afraid to have some of those perks still be... I mean, you're going to make raid-specific perks, but make it in addition to. Don't take away from perks. Just have it add, so when you take it outside of the raid, it's still beneficial as well. So still have the slot, still have that in there, but give me that raid perk, as you're saying. Put on the guns, put on the armor. Let my head be like, what if on my helm or something like that, you're going to highlight some of the enemies in the raid? You're going to highlight the elites or something. Like, just throw that on there for accident. It's like a little scanner. Like, if you're going to go Siva, get technical like that. Like, throw the themes, dive in, go all the way. Like, come on. Like, we want... And we've seen it all before. We're literally pulling information from D1. But other games, too. It's like, you work with Blizzard. You've got D1 experience. These are the type of things that are going to make stuff feel special. You want to feel special with your you want your gear to feel unique, special, engaging for the content that you're in, and I want to feel like a beast when I grind my ass off to get to that level. Excuse the language. I try and keep it clean, but
it's what we're passionate, baby. We're passionate.
Yep.
I respect it.
I was like, and that's why I was like, this is like, I'm okay with this right here. The 50 levels, the question, being immune if they're outside of it. But again, you got to tell me where that's actually going to come into play.
Right.
I mean, the only time that's going to be is if you go 50 power levels on a Nightfall and you lower yourself. That's the only time.
It's not. You're right.
There's not a lot of places where it's like, if I'm wandering around a world, if I'm wandering in a patrol, there's not like a hard zone.
Yes.
All the same level. And we've talked about that before too. Like patrols, like go have the area by the Cabal ship on the EDZ. Go crank that up to like a Nightfall level difficult. Just make it hard. Like, so if people wander around and they wander into the wrong place, like, I gotta turn around. Like, there's not one point in D1 where I had to turn around. You can run by everything. You're not gonna have something look at you and die. It's like the exact opposite. So they gotta dive a little farther into that, I think.
I agree. Completely agree.
So they are back in plaid. No, they did this last year though. It's always really cool. So they do. Shout out to Bungie. They always do some awesome donations. They always work with Children's. Is it Children's Hospital right there? I'm trying to think of the name.
I forgot what it's maybe Children or something like that.
It's right near them. I know.
Yeah. I always forget. It's not St. Jude's because that's
No, it is St. Jude's. Yeah,
it is
because that's
Jude's?
what. Yeah, because that's what Destiny Con does. I think they support.
Yeah,
the same,
I wasn't sure if it was the same, but yep, it should be St. Jude's. Okay.
So they always do really cool stuff. So they've got mids and kilts. That's a good fundraiser they're doing. And it's a big deal for 7. So they're saying every $30 donated will pay for a family to stay at a house for one night. So these are for Ronald McDonald House and things like that. They have a goal of raising $77,000. It's awesome. So, by the way, that's a hilarious picture. I love it.
The picture's hilarious.
Fake Gallahorn. You gotta I love this right here. Can I have the sunshot right here though? I want this.
Yeah, you see the sunshot's hot. Yeah,
no. But it's really cool. Like if you donate and you want to go all in, and you want to it's pretty sweet. So you've got high res art, you've got postcards, digital prints, like exclusive art that's going to be done. Then you get up into the high stuff. For $1,000, you can participate in a Bungie studio visit with you and a guest. which is awesome. $2,000, you get the studio and a custom piece of art as well, and it's all going to charity. It's awesome. But I was like, I mean, if you want to make your donation to a really good cause and get a chance to go see studio, you have to pay for your trip, but you are going to go get to visit Bungie. Like, I think anybody who's played this game is like, please let me in the doors.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's really awesome. They're also working down here with the Wellspring Family Services. Similar things here. So it's the Gauntlet Tabletop Fundraiser. Similar prize pools. So you can get just all cool stuff here. So check it out, guys. If you're looking for a place to say donations, just always cool stuff. So check it out. You can get some cool Destiny gear, apparel, art, a visit, depending on how much of a baller you want to be. So like, even if you guys drop $10 or whatever, just, throw some word out there. If you're fortunate enough to be like, sitting on a computer, listening to a podcast with a nice cell phone or whatever it is, take a second, take $10, $20 out of your day, donate it to people who need it, because you never quite know other people's situations, and it's just a really good thing to do.
Facts.
Emotional segment of the stream aside.
He said emotional segment of Flashpoint.
I mean, but seriously, like, I'm thankful to be very fortunate with my life, and I'm very, very thankful for that. So it's like, when you're in a position to do it, by all means, do it. You never know. Pay it forward, give, and it's gonna work. So
give back to the community. Nothing wrong with that.
So as we previously mentioned, Iron Banner had a little bit of a rain delay. Game got called on account of rain, but we got it back. So April 17th. Going to be going live at noon Central Time, 1 o'clock for you. Good old afternoon wake up. So it's going to be 6v6. It's going to be control. All the weapons are going to be in there. So just they had to switch it. They figured out their glitch, and they got it solved. And in a week, they figured out their glitch. It's not like Iron Banner's down for 2 months.
Impressive. No trial situations.
No,
but I'm low-key excited for Banner. 6v6.
Yeah, I'm curious just to see how it feels. But it's like, yeah, we're still looking for the bigger stuff. Yagami in chat was saying one thing that would slow down the lost sectors and Nightfalls, make the enemies in sectors 50 levels higher than the Nightfall you started.
50. Savage.
They're immune. I can't get any extra points. Done.
Done.
Yeah, just go in there. Like, when you spawn into a Nightfall, you spawn into a strike. It should be able to load you into like a server or an instance, basically. But yeah, if you wander in there, make any enemy. I like that. Like, make any enemy in a lost sector. Yeah, make him next to immune. Then you're like, all right, then you fix your problem. Again, not a developer. Sounds easy, but I wish. But yeah, I mean, they do load you into an instance, though. That instance has to count for literally everything from start to finish. The enemies, all those pieces, the spawn times, all it's in there.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there, just say, if you're in this zone over here of the world, you're going to get your butt whooped. So.
Facts. I agree.
I mean, it'd be a way to do it. I like it. I'd love somebody to be like, oh, sweet, we're going to farm this thing today. Crap, I just got smashed. What happened? I'd love that.
It adds value to the content. It makes it a difficult piece of content. Yeah. We're all cool with that.
I was like, I mean, Division did it, and we know Division 2's coming. I want to see those patrols have more value than just like public events. Let me do a hard public event, then let me wonder if I want to crank it up to heroic difficulty if I'm like soloing and I'm like, maybe not, because I'm in the hard mode. I'm gonna get squished. So
facts. I'm with it, man. They've got to push the boundaries with stuff like that.
Yeah, use your content. Use it. It's there.
Oh.
So they got a couple patches, bug fixes, things like that. They say they'll always have Paris. So they've got a couple videos here, a couple funny looking ones. So this week, the top score, I did want to point this out, 281 points difference.
Damn.
What is this one?
Damn.
Oh, I don't have access to it. Weird.
Yeah, you got to pull that up. I'll do it. But I believe you.
No, there's a link on the one and it's broken now.
Oh, it's
right
broken?
here.
Okay.
It's I don't know if it was changed with only 281. It's literally a link, and I'm looking at some imager thing, and it's gone. So I'm wondering if somebody put a little Easter egg in there that kind of got deleted for a second.
It's possible.
Yeah, but that's close. Like, I don't know. Some people are farming those. That's crazy to me.
Yeah,
that you
dudes will be farming crazy just for that.
That is insane.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah. People want their name and lights on the thwab, I guess.
Yeah. So next update is only a month away.
Woohoo.
And that stream is on the 24th. That stream is in 11 days.
11 days, y'all.
So we got a lot coming, guys.
Mm-hmm.
We got Warmind less than a month. I'm going to be seeing what I can do to have that afternoon off because I'm going to be playing till I'm blue in the face.
No doubt.
Yeah, for new content, new level, perhaps. 350, 360, 400. See, that's one of the, I will say for most of the expansions they've ever done, they never give me a big enough level to grind to.
I feel so too.
300 to 330, even if it's 330 to 350 or 60, it still never feels like enough. Just give me a good round 400.
Yeah, just go all the way out with it, you know?
Yeah, in chat, 2 weeks off at the end of May to grind. Yeah, you're going to be just chilling. That's, I mean, and that's, when it comes to, that's one of those things, like if I went out for the community summit or if, you know, there was ever a question, it's like, make the, they're afraid of, I guess, making some things too big or making an expansion mean too much of a difference. That is the point to an expansion. Like PvP, you're normalized anyway, but if you're going to go into new content.
Yeah, and to me now it's no more excuse. No more excuse now because of the fact that they've made it that people who don't have the DLC can still access other things.
Yep.
So reward the people who did pay.
Yeah.
At the level.
And give me something to go for. Or as like in chat as well, it's like they're saying, okay, so say it's up to 360, another 30 levels. Fine, 330 to 350. 20 levels, normal grinding going through. The last 10, give me a challenge. Make it harder. Don't make it artificial the way you level up a character in 264. You're like, well, this slowed down like a brick wall.
Right.
But at least just make a progression or just be like, hey, you got to go do that in-game. Get those last 10 levels. Something. Like, I just want to see that come back a little bit.
Completely agree.
Man, there's a lot of stuff we said today.
Yeah, long point. We warned y'all.
My stream is at an hour and 51 minutes. So for those of you guys that
mark, we hit it.
Pretty damn close, man. But it's a lot of stuff to cover. We want, I mean, we've got expansion coming. We've got vault space. We've got exotic weapon changes. We've got emotes. I'm sorry, I skipped over that.
Don't you dare do it.
But also we've got like bounties are literally on paper. On screen per se, but it's on somebody's sheet of paper.
Yeah.
Like bounties is the one I could like. They talked about weapon slot changes. Bounties I did not expect. Like I'm still kind of pumped.
I gotta give him credit for that one. Didn't expect that.
So
we're peaking in the right direction. Yeah. There's some hope. We got the community summit crew. You know, we got a DLC. The key is gonna be.
Even if I can't be there, can I just send a drone with a microphone just so I can listen? I just want to hear all the stuff.
I want to be a fly in that room so bad. I want to see the things that are fought over. I want to hear it. I want to know what wins out. You know, I'll see if I can speak to some people. Get some dirt.
Well, I mean, like esoteric, like shout out Nightfall Solo, beast mode. Like he said, he unfortunately just can't put things together and go. And I was just like. Man, one of the best Nightfall soloists out there. It's like you, so it's like you. But it was cool. They were like, I don't think he'd ever been. So I mean, the fact that they were reaching out to farther boundaries of what they had before, not just your big streamers and stuff like that. So they got a good selection in there, and I mean, PvE, PvP, big streamers. Like, hopefully, there's a good variety, and I think if they listen to the community that are there, those are the people that live and breathe it. Even they live and breathe this game. There's no question.
Yeah, those people. Yo, you know, we know Dado's on it. Is Dado?
I'm sure he is. Yeah.
Listen, if they got my man Holtz, Dado.
I mean, those guys I think are up in Seattle anyway.
We know who's on this team. We know Pope is on it. Who is confirmed so far that we know?
I'm trying to think. Like, and I'm just thinking of like names, and there's so many I can't ever pull them out of my head.
We ain't gonna go into it right now. But at the end of the day, I am confident that crew has Destiny's back.
Yeah,
Best
I mean they
interest
do.
At
Absolutely
heart.
Do.
We're in good hands. Now it's just a matter of the implementation, and it's just a matter of May DLC. Will it be enough? Because to me, I'm telling you, honest, if May is popping, if Warmind is popping, if Warmind has a good raid, that builds goodwill. You know what I mean?
It does.
Even though September we know is the magical moment where it's all supposed to come together. If May is a good one, people get confidence back. People, you build that trust. Like, okay, they may be getting it together now. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But if you do another Curse of Osiris,
That's gonna leave a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths to try to pay for something. Most people have paid for everything up to this point.
Yeah.
A lot of people bought the season pass. Not everybody,
most people are
but
in.
most.
They're locked in. Addicts locked in. There's bad people because we were so hyped. We bought both of them off the jump, both expansions for the cheap.
Yep.
But yeah, we're gonna see. We're gonna see, man.
FYI, like I think in chat, I think Holtzman's in there. She said Watts is in there. Destiny Reddit mods.
Oh, Watts in it, nice. Holtzman in it, nice.
Yeah, so I mean, you probably got the whole Destiny community podcast.
Probably got DCP. Yeah,
probably DCP, probably Datto, probably Triple Rec. You've got.
I'm good.
I mean, all those like Fallout. I mean, I would guess Fallout. I think I know True Vanguard's going.
Crucible. Yeah.
So I mean, you just start going through the list of like some of the big names, and then hopefully just they're showing like solo PvEers like Esoteric got invited. So I mean, he didn't get to go. I mean, it's like, dude, I feel for you, man. I'm sorry, but
we're in good hands for September.
Yeah. So I'm hoping. So between now and there's more yet to be revealed. So they've got more on the table for September, but it's like we want story.
Yeah.
Oh, no Triple Rec.
For that.
Yeah, seriously, man, go consult Bife.
Paging Bife.
Yeah,
we'll see, man.
Yeah, they said no Triple Rec, but gigs. But yeah, it's a good mix. So,
no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of hope. It's anybody who has played Destiny long enough that still steps in the game. It's still fun to shoot stuff in there, and I think we all just want quality of life, and we want a reason.
Yeah,
and that. I mean, quality of life is things like vault space, reasons, bounties, gear that matters, weapon slot. We want the reason to grind. We want a reason to be in the universe because we all, there's so much. It's so funny when that January update was coming out from Cosmo or whatever. Like I even tweeted out the tension in the room was like palpable, and it's just like it was so much that like they couldn't win. The bar was so high. It's like, and they have been working their hindquarters off to get this thing where it's supposed to be. So I was like, I can't wait. So
can't wait. Let's see what happens, man.
But guys, like, if it doesn't do it for you, if you enjoy Warmind for a little while and then you're like, hey, I'm still waiting for September, you got a lot of other stuff to play. So just enjoy it for the time being. Come back, and I'm hoping September's that time when people are like, hey, I picked up a couple games this November. Should I go check out Destiny 2? My hope is that I can say there's a lot of stuff in there you really should.
Exactly. Like, that's what Flashpoint's for.
Yep.
Period.
We got you.
So wrap this thing, man. Long points in the books.
Yep. All right. Well, for everybody out there, either in chat, Iron Lords Podcast, check them out for sure. YouTube, just look up Iron Lords Podcast. You'll find them. They got some awesome roundtable discussions over there on Sunday. Got some good content for PAX. Nice stuff.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, getting out there in the real world, seeing people face to face. What?
Yeah, man, getting my little interview on, my news reporter live on the scene. ILP news.
Yeah. Hey, ILP, it fits on a handheld microphone.
Somebody just told me I gotta get it. I know.
Little handheld, little square picture on a mic. Be like, we're from CNN. We're from ILP.
Exactly. We're working on it, man. We're working on it.
It's good stuff. Good stuff.
Shout out to that. PAX was great. We will be the Lords will be in the realm this Sunday. No guest this week, but it's gonna be PAX recap. We'll definitely talk that. We've got some great topics. The 4 Horsemen will be in the building, so it will be great. It will be Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Inner Circle Network. Please subscribe. Be there at the round table in the live chat. It's always a fun time. We got some fun, man. Great topics. And we got to get Ebontis back on the show soon.
Probably around May, what would that be, 11th?
Okay.
Well, I'm just guessing because that's 3 days after that expansion comes
right
out.
After,
so.
We usually get you right after
11th will be Flashpoint, of which we'll probably talk it to death anyway.
Sure, no doubt.
But yeah, May 13th somewhere in there. I'm happy to come back. Trust me, I still play. I was actually playing Celeste on my trip this weekend. That's like, Super Meat Boy, but actually with some story going to it. So it was actually pretty cool. I liked it.
Nice.
Nice. But yeah, that's it, guys, for the week. Enjoy your playtime. Gonna probably work on a solo prestige, see what score I can actually attain with something reasonable. I finished it, just not very high score. But I'll be working on that one. You guys always follow me on twitch.tv/Ebontis, Twitter, YouTube, subscribe, hit the alert bell, likes, comments. You guys know all the good stuff. Find any way to support us. Shout out again to Ehab in chat.
Nice.
Thank you for the sub. That was huge. Didn't expect that from it.
Respect.
But yeah, that's pretty much what I got, guys. What about you, Cognito?
That's it, man. You know me, at Lord Cognito on Twitter as well. And Xbox, PlayStation is Cognito 360. Switch, my social security is somewhere, but you can find me on Twitter. You can just add me there. Switch,
Name,
man.
social, you know, the good stuff.
You can add me through their new service,
Nice.
which connects social media. But that's all I got, man. It's gonna be fun. Another Flashpoint, aka Long Point in the book. We're looking forward to next week. It's gonna be fun. We'll see what else this game has got cooking up.
All right, guys. Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, because you guys could be all over the world where you're listening to, and we thank you from every corner of it. Have a good one.
Peace.